Perfect.
Would you like to support the Insiders? Pick up some merch now. Support us by getting a shirt, a hoodie. Support Abby's Window. Get a Shenanigans shirt. Whatever you'd like. Pick up some merch now. Insiders Pro Wrestling. The link is at the end of the video.
The red carpet has cleared out. The celebrities are all in their seats. We are all set to go for our 2023 T.I.G.S. This is Good Shit Awards. And we are psyched. We are ready to go. Welcome, everybody, to the Insiders 2023 Pro Wrestling Awards, our annual award show that we have honestly been doing. This is literally the first show we've ever done, all the way back to show number 1, which was an awards show. I talk about this a lot. When you look up and you see what Jeff's done with the graphics and everything like that now, and then you go back to that show when we weren't even doing any sort of video, and you watch that first show and you see how much he had to do to try to get that presentation to look good, being that we weren't on camera. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is what, Jeff, 4, right? Fourth year?
Yeah, this is number 4.
Man, oh man, it's gone so fast.
Yeah.
This is the start for us, really, of the year. We did do a stream, of course, with Impact TNA last week. It's going to be hard for me to forget saying Impact. But we did do our TNA stream last week. So technically that was the first one. But really, in our minds and in our hearts, really, this is where our year starts. So welcome in all of you. We've got the crew here with us tonight. We are going to announce your winners. We have 10 awards tonight that we're going to give out for different categories during the course of 2023. They are your votes. So you have voted on these awards. These are your awards, as they always have been. The votes have been tallied. The envelopes have been sent, and they will be opened up during the course of the night tonight. We also have a very special in memoriam tribute to all the wrestlers who we have lost over the course of 2023, and it was very, very impactful. Many of them have, some very tragically, some in other ways, but we have a very special in memoriam that is going to be very similar to the Academy Awards show. We will do 5 awards, and then we will have the in memoriam in between. and then we'll do the last 5 awards. So that is how we will have tonight going. Jeff, like I said, man, it's crazy. It's hard to believe it's year 4.
It is. It's crazy. Um, but like you said, this is where we started. Oddly enough, back in 2020. So, yeah, this is it's crazy. We're coming up on officially 4 years for the podcast in March. So that's also crazy. But
Very, very much so.
it's good to. I feel like it's good to start the year like this. To look back at the year that was, and try to forecast what may happen the next year. So
Yes. In fact, what we're going to do before we get started, we're going to do like just a little quick round table. And you guys can certainly shout out your answers to this, but we're going to do a little round table like Jeff kind of just segued into there. We're going to start off by some of our biggest memories that we are going to look back at for this past year in 2023. There were so many, but just maybe a couple will do. It's going to be hard to remember, and I know I snuck this on everybody, so they're not even prepared for this at all. So we're going to do a quick look back, some of the things we think, and then at the end of the show, when all the awards have been handed out, we're going to do a look forward. And what do we think the state of pro wrestling is? Where we think it is? Is it in a good place? Is it going to be an exciting, fun 2024? And we're going to talk about our 2024 predictions following tonight's awards. So that is how we're going to spend our evening tonight. Obviously, no other categories today. This is just all our awards show. We will get back to our normal Between the Ropes show next week. Okay, before we get started, you guys all know we're just going to go over a schedule really quickly. Jeff, this week, Tuesday, Abby's, yes?
I think so. Jody's not feeling well. That's not why she's not joining us tonight. But
right,
if she's feeling up to it,
okay.
Yeah, if she's feeling up to it, we'll be back on Tuesday at 6.
Okay, so Abby's abode should be Tuesday at 6 o'clock if Jody is feeling well. And then obviously Thursday, we do have a show on Thursday that is a preview show for TNA Hard to Kill. So we'll be doing a watch along for that. And of course, man, we're like I was just telling the guys on the before the show started, we are literally a week away from Hard to Kill, which is insane. The start of TNA wrestling in 2024. We've been talking about this for months since that last pay-per-view that it was announced. We were getting belts now shown for TNA, different signings of people signing over the last couple of months there. This is going to talk about exciting and things we're looking forward to. You don't have to look any further than that. So we are going to be here for that. I hope you all are as well. It's going to be a huge start to what I think is going to be a huge year for TNA. So we'll, of course, be here for that. Start time for that, it'll probably be 7:30, I would guess, to try to get on in case they do have any pre-show matches. So we'll
They do. They have a couple good ones.
Okay, so we'll definitely shoot for time for that. We'll start early and get right into it. We did our predictions actually last week. Throughout the course of the show, we were doing some predictions. They may announce some more matches and definitely some more entrance into that women's Ultimate X and stuff like that too. So we'll probably have a couple more predictions that we'll have to do for that show. But huge week, guys. And then after that, it's only a couple weeks then until the Royal Rumble. So big stuff coming up, and we're going to be here for it. Tazzy, hit him up with what you've got going on. Tazzy's got a ton going on. Not only is that this man's schedule, so he does Raw, SmackDown, NXT, but now he's decided to do some football as well. I don't know where he gets the time, but hey, Tazzy, tell him what you got coming up, and then we're going to get started.
There's only 24 hours in the day, by the way. Tomorrow, see, I had to write everything down. This is how crazy I got down. Tomorrow, don't forget, Monday, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. is the Watch Along Party for Monday Night Raw. Don't forget, CM Punk returns tomorrow, along with that big match, Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura tomorrow. Tuesday, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific is the Watch Along Party for I forgot what this is. Oh, I'm kidding. NXT. That's also the return of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. If you like tag team wrestling, Tuesday is the night for you. Come on and chill with the party though on Tuesday. And Friday, don't forget 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Watch on my party for SmackDown Fatal 4-Way. And like Joe just said earlier, later on in the month, the 28th, is the premiere of the NFL Watch Along Party. We're gonna start that with the AFC and NFC conference playoffs. Yes, I'm gearing up for 6 hours. I am planning on more than that. And yeah, it's gonna be a long night. You know, that's all I gotta say about that.
By the time the Super Bowl is over, Tazzy's like going to be sleeping for 5 days straight. He's going to have to take a week off to sleep for 5 days.
You know what he did though, right? He was training for this by doing the WrestleManias in the past. So
that's true.
You know, so he's trained.
And all the AEW pay-per-views that last 17 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, but yeah.
You know what's even more funnier than this? That the Super Bowl is on, I believe, it's on a Sunday. The day afterwards, I have to drive to Arizona. So, yeah, I'm gonna be a little tired boy.
If my Cowboys are in the Super Bowl, I will be glued to the television. And then, of course, it's all but confirmed that Deadpool 3 trailer's coming out during the Super Bowl too. So that's huge. But that'll be fun. Yeah. So make sure you join Tazzy, obviously, for all of his streams. And that's what we've got coming up. All right. Let me welcome some people in, and we're going to get down to business. We got Brandon Wayne Lewis. Hello to you. We've got Clown in the house. Jeremy Dunderman, a member of our channel. Jeremy, thank you so much for supporting our channel, being a member. Welcome to you. We have Dylan as well. James Grant. We've got Big Dan. What's up, Big Dan? Deanna's here. We've got Jason Peace. Hello, Jason. That TNA X Division title belt is hot to death. Ooh. Can't wait to see the rest. Oh my gosh, it is. It's fire. Looks amazing. They're going to be showing them day by day as we go. Bonus Baby, by the way, hello. Bonkers, LFC, hello. Yes, we did see those. Chris from Twitch is here. Hey, yo, to you. We've got James Grant. What's up, James? I think I may have said hello to you before, but hey, twice as good. Brandon is here. What's up, Brandon? Deanna is here. Jeff has updated graphics that he doesn't have to worry that they changed the lineup. Very true. Greg is here. Hello, Greg. Damien is here. What's up, Damien? How are you doing? Brandon is here. Buffalo, yes. Buffalo is in the playoffs. They're playing tonight for the division against Miami right now. Seth, happy New Year to you. Congratulations to NFC East champion Joe and NFC South champion Jeff. You are allies next week again. Yes, they are playing a common foe, and I hope the Eagles lose. We're great wrestlers last year. Mark, what's up, Mark? I feel the TIG Awards are like your anniversary show. Yeah, it very much is. Very much is. Ryan is here. What's up, Ryan? Barry Monkey from Twitch. Can we all write to TNA, say, never give Trey Miguel the X Division title. He'll only bloody paint the nice new belt green. Very good call. Yes, good call.
Touche.
Brandon, yeah, I'm well aware of that snowstorm in Pennsylvania. We got between 8 and 10 inches, I believe, last night. It was pretty big. Jeff is going to get more, I think. Did you get more?
We got about 11, I would say. Yeah. We maybe right at a foot, but 11, I would say. But yeah, that sucked. I'm just gonna
leave that over there. Leave that over there.
It was quite the winter wonderland in Jeff and my neck of the woods. Yeah. It was a lot of lousy digging out, plowing, snow blowing, shoveling, and all that happy crap today. So yes, horrible. Is TNA a normal episode? It is the preview for Hard to Kill, Brandon. The preview for Hard to Kill. Bonus Baby's laughing about the, hey, listen, you never know, man. They play well at home. I would expect them, unless something crazy happens, to end up playing at least in the championship game this year. I think, if they go play San Francisco, that's going to be very, very difficult. But whatever. Hey, Stranger Things. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 is here. What's up with you? Let me see. Did I miss anybody? Jason Peace. I've been here from the start. Love you guys as a wrestling family. Happy anniversary, all. Thank you very much. The snow missed us. Well, good for you. Now we're going to get a big, humongous rainstorm that's just going to melt it all. So, and that's going to lead to flooding and power outages with a lot of wind. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. Yeah,
lovely time of year in the Northeast.
Oh my God!
Now we're getting that. We're getting that rain. So I'm not looking forward to that one either.
Yeah, that's true. You got pummeled with all those big mudslides and everything last year around this time. Yeah, it's brutal. But anyway, we're nice and warm. We're inside. I hope you guys are inside and nice and warm somewhere as well. But that said, it is time. Let's get rolling with our awards. And Jeff, what do we have for our first award? Now, Jeff will put up the award. I will let you guys know who the candidates were, and I will also let you know who your others were that you wrote in, because I did have a write-in category, and some of you did write in some people. So after I read the names, I will also read the write-ins for each one, and then of course we will announce the winner, and then myself, Tazzy, and Jeff will tell you who ours is. Now, the thing with ours, it doesn't have to be necessarily one of these. We can go off the charts, and if there's somebody else that we want to pick, we can. It's our show, so kind of, we can do what we want. But that's how it's gonna work. So, Jeff, what do you got first, my friend? What is up? As we got Male Wrestler of the Year. All right, guys. If you voted, you know who you voted for. If you did not, put up in the chat who is your 2023, hello Aaron, Male Wrestler of the Year. And again, this is any company, guys, any company. This is not just WWE. This is WWE, AEW, NWA, Impact, all of pro wrestling, and New Japan, Indies, whatever the case might be. This is taken from everywhere. So your category, well, it's not really categories. How do I put this? I'm thinking categories like you think it's not a category. Your nominees. There we go.
There you go.
Your nominees for Wrestler of the Year. We have Seth Rollins from WWE. We have Roman Reigns from WWE. We have Will Ospreay from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF from AEW. We've got Jon Moxley from AEW. We have Gunther from WWE. We've got Okada as well. We have El Hijo del Vikingo from AAA. We've got Speedball Mike Bailey from Impact Wrestling. Chris Sabin from Impact Wrestling. So they are the nominees. We had no other votes for this. And Jeff, who is the people's winner of Male Wrestler of 2023?
All right, here we go.
I'm the winner is
Seth freaking Rollins from WWE. There he is. I want those boots. I really want those boots, man. Those boots are amazing.
Where are those?
Seth freaking Rollins, and it was kind of close. So your runner-up was Will Ospreay, which is pretty cool. And then the third runner-up was Gunther. So it was Seth, Will, and Gunther. 1, 2, and 3. Listen, guys, and let's see what people is. A couple of people said Gunther. Uncle Howdy, Alexa Bliss Gamer, Dominic says Barry Monkey goes way off the charts there. Deanna says Will. Cody Rhodes says James. MJF was mine and Andrew's pick, says Damian. My pick is Rollins and Gunther. Guys, I mean, Seth, when you look back at it, and someone just shared a graphic, which is pretty outstanding, of the amount of matches that Seth Rollins has had defending his title compared to the amount that Roman did is insane. You cannot say that this guy did not work this year. He absolutely did. And he came out on top in every feud he had. Some amazing feuds with him. The Shinsuke Nakamura one comes to mind, which was utterly fantastic. Drew McIntyre. I mean, you can just go down the road of the people that he took on and beat every single one. And held on to that belt. It has been definitely the year of Seth Rollins, well deserved, I believe, is that pick. And then I'll go through you guys. You guys give me some thoughts on Seth, and then we'll each decide who ours is. So go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, and I guess I can go ahead and just do both at one.
Yeah.
For me, it was between Seth Rollins and Swerve Strickland. That's who. And Will Ospreay. Those were my three that I was really struggling with. But it's hard to argue against Seth because he defends the title all the time. He's there. He's great, you know, in terms of on the mic, and he's great in the ring, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, Seth's my male wrestler of the year this year. Like I said, it was a close call, but yeah, Seth has he's really filled that void that people feel from having your Universal Championship on the shows on a consistent basis. He's been that workhorse, like Deanna said here in the chat.
Yeah, that's a very interesting comment. And it's certainly true. When you know that you're going to have one of your champions as what Bully Ray referred to as an attraction. He's not going to be there all the time. He's an attraction and is only going to be wrestling maybe 4 shows a year. You need to have someone who's going to be a bell cow. You need to have someone who's going to be a workhorse. And that is indeed why Seth Rollins got that title. And that is indeed why he kept that title. He is a true workhorse. The crowd gets fired up when he comes down there. They're singing the music. He comes out wearing goofy stuff all the time, and it's hilarious. This guy, man, he's climbed the top of the mountain. We remember him from, when he was with the factions and when he was a bad guy and all that kind of stuff. But he's really stood the test of time. And this, probably looking back at wrestling, could have been his best year ever. Tazzy, what you got? What are your thoughts on Seth? And who is your choice for male wrestler of the year?
Yeah, Seth was he was all over the place this past year. It was like even the match that he won the title with AJ Styles, it was a good match.
Yep.
And I, like you said, to have at least one of your champions got to beat her mostly all the time, and then of course you got to have a attraction champion too. That's totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with Roman Reigns is doing. Totally fine, but if he's not there, then like, hey, come on, I went the totally opposite way of Jeff, which is very funny. So I would have picked Seth if it was like if he was the champion of the year kind of thing. I would have picked him because like he did his thing. I went for Strickland.
Okay.
Just because the year he went, the way he started until the way he ended, it was like, what? It's crazy. And the crowd is on his side. It's like, I know in the beginning of the year, it was like kind of like a little bit of boos, a little bit of cheering, but he's supposed to be a heel and he's getting cheered. It's like Stone Cold all over again right now. I love his matches. I'm gonna give you guys a hint. This probably ain't going to the only time you're going to hear his name tonight. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a good call. That's a really good shout out. He had an amazing year. I'm gonna go with Seth, but a very close number 2 for me. And I'm the first one to admit I didn't watch many of this gentleman's matches just because of where he wrestles. But the few that I saw when he was in Impact Wrestling were absolutely stellar. Speedball Mike Bailey, Eddie Edwards, Josh Alexander, which we're seeing part 2 of that coming up. A close second for me is Will Ospreay. I mean, the guy just wrestles great wrestlers everywhere he goes. He just wrestles the best of the best. And he just shines in everything he does. Signed a big contract now with AEW, so we'll see where he goes next, what he does next there. But man, the young man's got a big career in front of him, and was probably the most coveted free agent, I would say, out there that got signed so far this year. So he would have been a close second for me. But Seth, like I said, I'm go with the same logic that Jeff had there, and it just simply because week in, week out, every single Monday Night Raw, you knew that Seth Rollins was going to be there every single week. And then every single pay-per-view, that title was defended as well. So definite workhorse, and I do believe he deserves this award. So Seth is my choice, but a very close second for me for Will Ospreay. So all right, let's see what we got in the chat out here. Seth deserves the main event at Mania. Seth was definitely the workhorse for WWE. Seth DeBar, an old wrestling quote, could have a 5-star match with a broom, says Dan. Interesting choice about Gunther. I would have chosen Seth, Ospreay, and Mike Bailey. Did you show Joe that list of the longest reigning individuals in WWE, especially how Roman Reigns stepped into the WWE Championship picture? I am with you on that. It's impressive. He still never had his match with Keith Lee yet. LOL. I don't have a problem with the top 3. Swerve had a great quarter of 2023, but Seth put it down all year, says Bonus Baby. Do you think Gunther and Seth will happen? Ooh, that's
I'd like that.
call. Yeah, that would be a great program.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, that would be a great program. Could very well, especially if we're getting the little teases that we're getting lately of what might be in store for Roman for a little while. Yeah, it certainly could. It certainly could. Hey, Gunther can easily win the Royal Rumble. I mean, he just missed it last year. So, a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's got to be Punk. Hey, I don't know. I would not count out Gunther winning that Royal Rumble. So yeah,
Joe, you want to know what's funny about that? Is that last year after Mania, everyone to a person almost said that Cody was going to win it because he had to finish his story. Yep. Now think about that. Think about the fact that it's not predictable at all who could win the Rumble, and how do you, if Cody doesn't win, how does he get back to Roman? What's the game plan if he's going after that title? What are you going to do with Punk? What are you going to do with Randy Orton? What are you going to do with LA Knight? It's just the top of the main event card in WWE right now is just absolutely packed and loaded, and it should be a fun trip to WrestleMania season.
Yeah, it's very true. By now, usually every year, we can predict exactly what the matches are going to be. And most of the times you'd be right. This year, I don't know. There's just so many wild cards getting thrown at us that you just don't know. And that's what, like Jeff was talking about this with me the other night on the phone. We were just chatting, and he said, it's very exciting. It just makes everything that much more exciting because we don't know. And so, yeah, it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. I agree. This is why I want Roman to drop the belt. You need a champ on your own brand, no matter who it is. Seth never had a bad match. Deanna says Roman. Cody can win the Elimination Chamber, something Asuka did to get to Bianca. All right, we're going to move on to our second award. So award number 2 is, of course, the Female Wrestler of the Year. So here are the nominees for Female Wrestler of 2023. Hey, John G. We've got Rhea Ripley. I'm going to read off the companies, therefore, like you guys don't know, but I want to make it sound more official. From WWE. Jamie Hayter from AEW. Deonna Purrazzo from Impact Wrestling, now with AEW. Camille from NWA. Julia from Stardom Wrestling. Bianca Belair from WWE. Athena from Ring of Honor. Willow Nightingale from AEW. Tiffany Stratton from NXT. Jordan Grace from Impact Wrestling.
Also,
and then we had 4 write-ins. Becky Lynch. Trinity. How could Trinity not have been on there? That's my own fault. Like, how the hell do I not include Trinity? Alexa Bliss and Shotzi Blackheart. So 4 write-ins on there. Trinity definitely should have been included on this. I must have been drunk when I did this. Trinity should have definitely been in there. Why she wasn't, I have no idea. I must have been out of it that night, and I don't drink. So let us know in the chat who your picks are. And Jeff, let's get that drum roll. Who was Female Wrestler of the Year in 2023?
Here we go.
And the winner is
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley from WWE. Pretty close. And I'll tell you, you want to know who is second? You would never guess it. You would never guess it. And it was she was the next highest vote getter and pretty damn close to Rhea Ripley. Athena from ROH. Pretty damn close, man. Which crazy.
Get ready. Get ready. That's all I'm going to say.
How about that, man? That kind of shocked me a little bit, especially with the other names that were on here. Deanna, of course, got some votes. Tiffany Stratton got some votes. They were both fourth place. Julia got some votes along with Bianca. Willow Nightingale as well. Nothing for Camille, which kind of surprised me, considering the record she had and what she did. I think that just probably comes from the fact that maybe just people just don't know as much about NWA. They don't watch it as much, but let's not forget what she did over this past year. And she's being coveted now. Some of those big companies, those big name companies are starting to look at her a little bit. Jamie Hayter, nothing for Jamie. We had, and of course the others that were voted in as well. But I'm going to go to Tazzy and I'll start with you. And then of course the chat will read yours off. Who is your female wrestler of 2023, and what do you think of the year that Rhea Ripley had?
Rhea Ripley had a pretty good year. I mean, from winning the the Royal Rumble to what she looked like now, it's like she's a star.
Yeah,
she's a star, and it's like she got a long way to go. I don't see her losing the title anytime soon. I mean, I think the way Triple H minds is, she probably going to lose it at WrestleMania, but she'll probably gain it back sometime later on in the year. It's just the way his, just the way his
Jade Cargill.
you want heat. You want her to be a heel. That probably the way to do it. I'm doing a curveball with you guys. I was close to picking Tiffany. I was very close. I was like,
Tiffany had an amazing year, dude.
She had a great year. But I think she'll probably end up in the main roster later on in the year. So that's gonna be good. You might see Rhea Ripley and Tiffany versus each other later on in the year. Interesting. I throw a curveball. This young lady had a year like no other. She went from, as soon as I say it, you guys gonna know who it is.
I think I already do, but go ahead.
She went from a cheerleader to a dark character, which is insane, and she's getting better and better in the ring. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It's unbelievable. I'm talking about Julia Hart. Julia Hart is my female wrestler of the year. It's incredible how when Tony Khan do something right, he do something right. When he do something bad, he do something bad. Yesterday. Anyway. But he picked the right person. She's now the TBS champion, and don't be shy, she'll be the AE champion at the end of the year. especially if somebody don't sign with that company, that she might end up like, hey, we need to push her a little bit more. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a great choice. That's a great shout. I want to hear Jeff's last because I'm curious to know what he's going to say here. While I agree with Rhea, I'm going to correct my own mistake, and my female wrestler of the year is Trinity. Trinity, listen, when you are the basic star of the best female wrestling roster on the planet. She wrestled in so many big matches this past year, and that includes the now departed to AEW Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace. She beat all comers. She's had the title for over a year. She's got a match with Jordan Grace coming up at Hard to Kill. Trinity brought all the energy that she had in WWE and upped her game 20 times. And she basically was the best of the best in the women's division in Impact Wrestling. So for me, it's Trinity. I love what Rhea's done. And let me tell you why I will give a lot of respect to Rhea Ripley. Because not only is she winning her matches and she's carrying the title, she's also carrying Judgment Day. And that is no easy thing. Listen, you can talk all you want about Priest, Dirty Dom. You can talk about them all you want to, but I'm sorry, but Rhea is in charge there. Rhea is carrying that faction. So everything Rhea's done through on both of those fronts, not necessarily easy to do. So Rhea definitely deserves a lot of respect here. But for me, I'm going to go with Trinity. Jeff, who do you got?
I'm gonna go slightly different.
Okay.
She was mentioned previously.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Athena.
Nice.
The reason I say that, and this is no disrespect to Rhea Ripley or Deonna Purrazzo or anyone else, but what I'll say is Athena had great matches with people not at her caliber, is what I'll say. She was able to have tremendous matches and really make that Ring of Honor women's title feel like it should matter. What I'd like to see, and I'm gonna bring up someone else too. She got a lot of attention early in 2023 because of a match that she had with Jody Threat.
Yeah.
It was very, very violent and physical, and people were talking about it. And I was thinking, you know what? I really, really hope that they capitalize on this and showcase her more. Have her go up against, the likes of Ruby Soho or Sky Blue, or for goodness sakes, Kiera Hogan. I want to see more of that. So again, I think she had a great year. I think and the reason why I say she's the wrestler of the year for me is because it's not only what she did in Ring of Honor, but it's what she continues to do on the independents. Wrestling intergender matches and just putting on a phenomenal match every single time. She doesn't have a bad match, in my opinion. So much props to Rhea Ripley. She had a great year. Definitely, can't fault anyone for having Rhea Ripley as their wrestler of the year, but for me it was Athena, what she's done, and hopefully we see more of her in 2024.
I love it. Split right down the middle, man. We all had somebody different. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see what the chat's got. All right, we got Imru. Hello, Imru. Just joined us here. Great choices, but like Swerve, all the nominees had great time periods during 2023. Tony Storm is on fire right now, but like Seth, Rhea put it down all year. The improvement of Tiffany Stratton in 2023, I'd not be surprised if she was Wrestler of the Year in 2024. Similar to what Tazzy was saying there, she was the star of Raw, and her Judgment Day have carried that show most weeks. Very true. I think I voted Becky and Athena. Imru says love and respect. And Julia Hart. Julia Hart is a great shout. She should have a rock in 2024. Well deserved for Rhea Ripley. Mommy is always on top, says Deanna. Yes. Uncle Howdy repeats that comment. Hello to you, by the way. Would have loved to give it to Masha for winning the GCW title against Nick Gage. Trinity is coming home, so the bloodline gets stronger. Athena had an awesome year. She was fighting men and women. Swack fan, hello to you. Rhea's been bloody fantastic this entire year, but when it comes to Trinity, she's the living embodiment of one person's trash being someone else's treasure. Very true. Very well said. Very well said. She didn't look. We all know that story. She wasn't happy with how she's being used. The tag team titles were completely being diminished, and that's the reason why she left. And look how well she did going somewhere else. And that you see that a lot. You see that a lot. We have to watch Deonna now and see what happens with Deonna Purrazzo now that she's over there too. I do agree that Ripley's number one, but I've chosen Io Sky as number two. Okay. Britt had an amazing violent match, as she did. I pick Alexa Bliss, John G says. I don't even know if Alexa even around really that much last year. I know she was out for a long time after her pregnancy and stuff like that, so I don't even think she was around for very often. May have been just the very, very beginning maybe of 2020.
Yeah, just that one match. The one match of the Rumble.
Yeah. But hey, that's your vote, dude. You pick who you like. That's what we're all about. All right, let's roll on here, and we're going to go to the third of our awards. This one is the awards for male tag team. Oh, this has a special place in my heart. Tag Team Wrestling Award, Male Tag Team of the Year for 2023. And the nominees are the Motor City Machine Guns from Impact Wrestling, FTR from AEW, the Young Bucks from AEW, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from WWE, Aussie Open, who were independent at the time, but they've been around everywhere. AEW now, I believe they are in, and so they've been all over the place. They were in Impact for a little while. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest of WWE. ABC in Impact Wrestling, who had a tremendous year this year. The Rascals, also of Impact Wrestling, who had an awesome year as well. The Acclaimed for AEW. And then Subculture is on that list as well. So they are your nominees. No write-ins for this category. So, Jeff, let the people know who they voted for Tag Team of the Year male.
And the winner is...
Well, the Motor City Machine Guns are your choices. They were followed very, very closely by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, coming in just 4% behind the Motor City Machine Guns. And then in third place was ABC at 15%. And then we had Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest tied with the Acclaimed up there as well. So the Motor City Machine Guns, these guys, we talk about these guys every single week on Thursdays. And if you don't, then there's something weird going on, because they're always there. They're always in matches, whether it's together, whether it's separate. These guys are always front and center in Impact Wrestling. And I'm hoping that they're going to be front and center at TNA Wrestling for a long time to come. We were laughing last week when we did our watch along for TNA, and the look back at how young these guys were when they were back in TNA all that time ago. Chris Sabin with the black hair looked like a baby. Alex Shelley looked, oh my gosh, staples of Impact Wrestling, TNA, and man, they're going to be staples of TNA going forward. Well deserved. These guys are fantastic. If they're not together, they're doing things separate. I mean, Chris Sabin has the X Division title. They always seem to be in the mix. Alex Shelley was your Impact champion for a good amount of time and beat some good. I mean, his match against Macklin last year, no one saw that one coming. No one saw that result coming. So I don't know. Well deserved. I don't know that I have another one that I pick. I love what Kevin Owens and Zayn did together, and of course won the titles. I also love what Judgment Day and what ABC did, but I'm going to agree with everybody on this one. I'm going to go with Motor City Machine Guns. I just think that they and again, they were in other companies as well throughout the course of the year and did matches in other areas. But I'm going to go with Motor City here as well. Jeff, what you got?
This is tough because, I mean, FTR is always at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
ABC had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, they did.
But I think I'm gonna agree too, and the reason why I say that is because yes, and Barry Monkey brought this up. Alex Shelley's the current champion. He's got a big match coming up against Moose.
Yep.
We'll see what happens there. Chris Sabin, your X Division champion. They've done those things separately, but I think for me, what the matches that they had against Subculture and ABC and Aussie Open at one point, and I mean they continue to put on stellar tag team matches. Every time we see them, it's like, okay, this is what I remember tag team wrestling being.
Yep.
And then they take that and they elevate that. And I mean, again, they've been around for years. So, but I mean, it's really hard to go against ABC or FTR. And I mean, like you said, you got to throw in Sammy and KO, but another one that kind of made my top list that I kind of wrestled with a little bit was the Creed brothers.
Came on very strong. Really vaulted up the ladder quickly when they came over to the main roster. Yeah. They're if I had a category for one to watch, they would be number one in my one to watch category. They are very fun for me to watch because they're a throwback. They are absolutely a throwback tag team. You could have taken them and put them in the 80s in wrestling, and they would have fit perfectly. They are an absolute throwback. So, yeah, no doubt. They are one to watch going forward. No doubt. What I like most about this is we're talking about tag teams, and they're relevant, and that's awesome. I absolutely love it. Tazzy, what you got?
Who would have thought last year you get one person out of creative, and all of a sudden tag team wrestling is back in all companies again. How about that?
Yep.
How about that? Because we know Triple H is like loves tag team wrestling, and you're seeing it. And for the people that joins me on NXT, we have a bunch of them that's coming up from the main roster pretty soon, and you're starting to see them tickle up now. Man, there's so many tag teams. I mean, of course, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Of course, the Mordecai's, they're the legends in this whole thing. They're legends, and it's like, wow. FTR, the Acclaim. The Acclaim was a good tag team, even though there was kind of trios, but you get what I'm saying. But I mean, even I guess you could say the Elite when they was together too. They was doing their thing too. Honestly, at the beginning of the year. Sorry, I had a little cough there. But I mean, oh my God, the Kingdom. Oh my God. But you know me. If you know me, you know who I'm picking. So this tag team was they became a tag team about 2 years ago, and they haven't looked back since. It was like one of those tag teams like, hey, we should be a tag team together. And we're like looking at each other like, that will work. ABC. Wow. What a year they had together. Of course, they lost and gained it back. But it's okay. It's okay. The match with them and the Rascal. Oh my God. I feel like a kid when I watched that match because it was like the spots. Yes, I'm a spot guy. I don't care. The spots in those matches was awesome. So yeah, ABC is my male tag team wrestler of the year. I can't say tag team because I actually have a favors tag women tag team. Anyway,
ABC was phenomenal. They were absolutely what a pairing, those two. Chris Bay, we kept saying for a long time how Chris Bay should have had gold. He's just so good. And then when he gets together with Ace Austin, who is also just amazing in the ring, just one of the best, and they absolutely showed it. They held on to that title for a good long time. They lost it for a little bit, gained it back. Tremendous year for them. And good to see that. Two very, younger guys that are growing. They're going to only be spotlighted even more on TNA. So the future is bright for them as well. Like I said, I just love it. Tag teams is relevant again. I know probably 2 years ago on this very show, we were talking about how we wanted to see more tag teams because the tag team was kind of dying, like Tazzy said. Now it's back, and it might be better than ever. And that's pretty awesome. I love what AEW is doing with them. I love what WWE is doing with them. I love what TNA now is doing with them. And I just want to see more because to me, wrestling always was tag teams from back in the day, from Demolition for me, from the old school tag teams in the 80s. I've always loved tag team wrestling, and I'm excited to see it coming back into fruition. So great stuff. All right, let's see what the fans have here. Motor City Machine Guns was mine, and Andrew's voting this category. They've been killing it this year. Deanna says Motor City Machine Guns, ABC, FTR, and the Acclaimed. John G picks FTR. I picked FTR, says Brandon, KO, and Zane. That story was amazing. Motor City Machine Guns, my vote, becoming world champs can't be overlooked for a tag team. FTR says Bonus Baby, Finn and Damien, says James Grant. John G says FTR. ABC, they've surpassed Motor City Machine Guns this year, best in the world. Uncle Howdy says FTR. Brandon Davey says Judgment Day. We've got ABC. I pick FTR. Let's see. Dan says I'd go with KO and Sammy, the Creed brothers, Finn and Damien, and FTR with honorable mention to Young Bucks, who helped steer CM Punk back home to WWE. KO and Sammy, says Alexa Bliss. Gamer, you could probably do a full 6 degrees of Alex Shelley show on top wrestlers he has a hand in training, and he's not too shabby himself. The Bloodline story helped KO and Zayn, in my opinion. Outside of that, they didn't interest me that much. Tag team division is growing. Joya, oh, I know. How could I forget about Joya? Oh, man. We had to say goodbye to Yuya, and so much for Joya. Oh, it was so sad. Creed brothers are stupid good. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Yes, I did see that coming back. That was pretty awesome. The fans really reacted to that. Alpha Academy would have been near the top for me.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because of AEW that wrestling in general is growing? No, not necessarily, Imru. I think it's because of all the companies. All the companies, I think, are growing. I don't think it's just one. I think it's all of them. Makes sense about Motor City Machine Guns. Remember, Chris Sabin broke out of his shell thanks to Impact, now TNA. I don't think TNA would be TNA if it hadn't been for Motor City Machine Guns and Chris Sabin. I came back to wrestling because of AEW. That's cool, dude. Listen, hey, if that's your thing and that's what brought you back, that's awesome. At least you're watching wrestling, and that's great, dude. I'm glad you enjoy it. I think it's the popularity and successes and options available because of all the promotions, says Jeff. Yes, I agree 100%. All right, we're moving on to our next category. And I think Joe might have just lost all of his categories. What the hell happened with my phone? You got it up there? Okay, hold on. Wait, I got it up. There we go. I got it back. All right, our fourth award is Faction of the Year. Talk about something like tag teams being a big part of wrestling. Wrestling is always good when there are factions as well. Now, sometimes it could get a little crazy. When AEW first started, I think they had factions for every single wrestler. Got a little carried away. And WWE's been known to do that from time to time as well. Factions are great. Let's not get carried away and put every single wrestler on the roster in a faction, because that's when it just gets ridiculous. But this year was a pretty good year, I would say, for factions. So that said, your choices or your nominees for Faction of the Year are as follows. We have the Bloodline from WWE, who's, by the way, won this award more than once. We have Judgment Day for WWE. We have Blackpool Combat Club from AEW. We have House of Black from AEW. We've got the Brawling Brutes from WWE. We have Imperium from WWE. We have Bullet Club Gold in AEW. We've got the regular old Bullet Club from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have Damage Control from WWE. We have Alpha Academy from WWE, and I believe that's it. Let me see. I want to see if we had other, if we had an other for that one. I don't think we did. No, that was it. No others. So you guys can other away in the chat and let us know if there's somebody that you think they missed in there. There may have been a couple that weren't mentioned, but there you go. Those were the nominees. So Jeff, the winner is for Faction of the Year.
And the winner is
yet again. This one's been this way, I think, for the last 3 years since we've been doing the award show. I kind of honestly thought it would get a little closer into the point where it might fall off a little bit because there have been other ones that have. But, you know, these guys, no matter what happens, I mean, they did split up. Jey Uso's gone, but yet it still manages to carry on SmackDown as the main event thing that's always talked about. No matter if whether Roman is there or not, these guys are getting involved with other storylines all over the place. So Judgment Day is your number one. 41% of the vote. I'm sorry, Bloodline is number one, 41% of the vote. Judgment Day was next. And that's who I kind of thought might overtake them, to be honest. They're 30% of the vote. I thought that'd be a little higher, to be honest with you. The third place was a tie. We had House of Black, we had Damage Control, and we had Alpha Academy, all tied. And then we had the Blackpool Combat Club and Imperium next up. Yeah, this kind of surprised me. I honestly really thought that Judgment Day would take it. I am going to probably go with Judgment Day here. And not because I like them more, not because I don't think the wrestlers are better necessarily than one another. I'm basically just going by when you see a faction, you see a faction is constantly being shown. They're not just opening the show and maybe they're closing the show, but you see them in backstage all the time. You see them getting involved in other people's matches a lot, where they might interfere with stuff like that. You see them doing other things. Now they've got a thing going on with R-Truth, which is absolutely freaking hilarious. That's what I kind of look for in a faction. Like when we had the NWO, they were everywhere. And that's kind of what I think of this now. Yes, you know, SmackDown still belongs to the Bloodline, but hell, you even saw Rhea Ripley coming over to SmackDown a couple times and interfering with the Bloodline's business. So I'm going to go with Judgment Day. I just think they were a little more, I think, relevant than the Bloodline was this year. So I'm going to go personally with Judgment Day. Guys, let me know what you think in the chat. And Tazzy, I'm going to start with you. What was your faction of the year?
Yes, the Bloodline. By the way, Jimmy is hilarious.
Oh my God, yeah. He completely changed his character, and he is really hilarious. I mean, that man, when he takes a bump and he just, how many times did did Seth knock him down and then he just laid there for half an hour? Yeah, he's great.
Kudos to him for changing his character. He was actually originally one of the Serious brothers.
Now he's the funny guy.
I am looking forward to when they tag team again. How that two going to be? It's going to be great. Yeah, the Bloodline is still doing their thing. Of course, we don't. It's kind of getting still, but it's starting to wrap up again with The Rock now.
Oh boy!
Judgment Day, of course, is awesome. They're doing their thing. They're all over the TV. You just add R-Truth just doing some stuff. He might deploy them this year.
Oh my God.
One there's one faction that's started at a SummerSlam and still around, and now one of us the champion. And I'm intrigued on how that's going to go because somebody might get booed out and see how that goes and how maybe another faction will turn around after that. This is why I'm choosing them for faction of the year, and I'm thinking it's Damage Control. The whole dynamic of the three Asian girls, and then you got of course Bailey, who don't know what they're saying, and then you got Dakota Kai is actually who, by the way, I'm gonna tell you now, Dakota Kai is probably running things right now. That's basically how they're running that.
That's
it's
the real leader.
Yeah. What you might see, it's more likely what we're going to get for like the back in the day with DX when Shawn Michaels was the original leader. Shawn Michaels left, and then you got then all of a sudden you had Triple H take over. That's basically how that's going to go. I that's how I feel that's how to go. And Dakota Kai can do it. She's very good on the mic. If you haven't seen her when she had full mic skills in NXT, she was great. So I this is why I'm picking Damage Control for.
Fair enough. You know what I like too is we already have two really good factions that just started up for this coming year. You've got the whole thing with Adam Cole now over in AEW and whatever that's going to be, and then you have that new one from Karrion Kross with AOP that we saw debut. Oh man, looks like that's going to be some exciting. I'm really excited for that. I couldn't wait. I love Karrion Kross.
I marked out. I really did marked out.
Oh my gosh,
I had to mark out.
Paul Ellering's back. Come on, man. That's going to be. It's going to be a good year for factions, dude. It's going to be a really good year for that, I think. And I dig it. Jeff, what do you got? Who is your vote for faction of the year?
I think for me, in terms of trying to pick one, it was very difficult. But for me, I think Damage Control was great. I think the Judgment Day, because there's so many different dynamics there. It's like who's running the show? Because for the longest time we thought that Finn Balor was running the show, and then Rhea is it really Rhea? And is Damian getting a little bit irritated at this point? So, who's the real leader of the group? I think they deserve to be in the conversation. It's very hard to go against the Bloodline, but I think given what the Judgment Day did, but you have to look at Damage Control and look at the success they've had as a group. And, if you think back in 2023, we started off the year like, oh man, I wonder what we're going to get out of this group this year. I wonder, what's Bailey going to do? And we had all these questions. And then there was a point in the year where people were kind of getting sour on Damage Control. And then you add in Kyrie Sane, you add in Asuka, and now it's like, okay, yeah, this thing can really take off now. And honestly, because they're so dominant, it's like who's going to take them down? So, I think those are the factions that were at the top of the list for me this year. I will say that I want to see more out of House of Black. I'm going to continue to say that because I do. I want that. I think with next year this time, I wonder if we're going to have a different winner, because I want to see where this storyline goes with Adam Cole, the Undisputed Kingdom. I want to see what happens there, because I think that has the makings of being special too. But yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out there for wrestling companies. Someone beat the Bloodline in these awards.
It's 4 straight, guys. It's four in a row. They are the absolute kings. It's four in a row, man. I mean it got a little closer. It got a little closer, but they still came out on top. All right, let's see what we got in the chat here. Hard to overlook Blackpool Combat Club to me, although they are overlooked. Crazy to say who, considering who is in it. John G saying damage control. James Grant saying damage control. The big moments for them. EO winning Money in the Bank and cashing it in. Getting Oscar and Kyrie Sane joining your group. Dan's going with Judgment Day #1, Bloodline 2, Imperium 3, Damage Control 4. Judgment Day almost overexposed though, says Bonus Baby. Brandon says Judgment Day. Damage Control goes second. Alexa saying Imperium. Judgment Day was mine and Andrew's vote for this category. I'm split between Judgment Day and Bloodline. Imru says 100% Judgment Day. Judgment Day has been my faction of the year, says Barry Monkey. Hassan, hello, Hassan. How are you? Happy New Year to you as well. Yes, we are very excited for TNA, as we mentioned earlier. Let's see, going down here, we got damage control for me, big moments for them, yes. I think Judgment Day caught flame late in 2023, but Bloodline story has been epic. Jeremy Dunderman saying the Bloodline. And the design says bonkers. Love the Bloodline, but Judgment Day has been much more dominant overall. Only thing that puts me off Blackpool Combat Club is none of them are in any way connected to Blackpool. Bloodline, BCC, and the design says bonkers. To me, there are two people that are leading Judgment Day, Rhea and Damian Priest. Let's see. Joe, Jeff, and Tazzy are the new best faction. There you go, Brandon. Thank you.
All right.
Talking of Blackpool Combat Club, if you want a funny story about Blackpool, Google Blackpool Tower Fire from a couple weeks ago. Jimmy Uso, I'm on the injury list, coach. I can't do nothing. Roman threatens him. Jimmy Uso, I'm off the injury list, coach. I can do something. Can't wait for Awesome Truth. Rhea Ripley has led Judgment Day. Damian Priest is coming along finally. His match with Bad Bunny was surprisingly awesome. Dom has been hot for JD as well. Dominic just seems happy being dominated in Judgment Day. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Wow. Wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be? I'm just asking. Growing up in Mid-South, I saw Precious Paul Ellering a ton. Vividly remember Paul Ellering getting choked out with a Russian flag. House of Black has so much potential, in my opinion.
Yes.
Lots of growing factions. Barry Monkey says, I hope we get a couple factions in TNA. Not had a proper faction war in a while. Yeah, since that whole thing with Honor No More. And versus Impact. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would like to see that as well. Really interested in the cross AOP thing. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, we're going to our number 5 award. Now, remember, right after this is when we are going to do the In Memoriam segment. So just to let you know that, and then we'll come back, of course, when that is through, and we'll continue with number 6. So number 5 is Male Match of the Year. Male Match of the Year. So in the chat again, let us know what yours was. These are a little bit harder thinking of. Sometimes you got to go back and you got to try to remember all of these, and it's not always an easy thing to do. Trust me, I know. But Male Match of the Year. So your nominees are Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay in Impact Wrestling. MJF versus Bryan Danielson in AEW Revolution. Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey in Impact Bound for Glory. Adam Cole versus MJF at AEW All In. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. WWE WrestleMania. Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo at AEW Dynamite. Adam Page versus John Moxley in a Texas Death Match, AEW Revolution. FTR versus the Young Bucks, AEW All In. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, WWE Crown Jewel. Gunther versus Chad Gable on WWE Raw. And we had 5 vote-ins. 5. Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus at WrestleMania 39. Swerve versus Hangman, Texas Death Match at that was AEW, the most recent pay-per-view. Yes, not the most recent one, but the one before. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door. Omega
Yep.
and Ospreay versus, okay, though they were the same one. And then Gunther and Sheamus. Okay, so not as many write-ins. A lot of them were the same one. So 2 of the write-ins were the same, was Ospreay and Omega, and 2 of them were Gunther and Sheamus. So there you go. This is incredibly hard to vote for because, again, you have to remember them all, and it is not easy to do. And so we do have a winner. And this actually,
No, we don't. We have a tie.
We have a tie
Yeah.
in this
Wow.
category. We have a tie for first place. This is awesome. So we have 2 winners of this one. Jeff, who are the tied winners?
Here we go.
And the winner is
Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. So they are a upfront tie for the match of the year male. So pretty amazing that we got a tie out of this, but this one, the votes were all over the place. They both finished first with 19%. Right behind them was Will Ospreay against Speedball Mike Bailey at 15%. Very close after that was FTR versus the Young Bucks at All In. And then you had MJF and Bryan Danielson. And then, I mean, these were all very, very close. Very, very close. And then you had the write-ins as well. This is just so hard to pick because it not only differentiates by, and I'm not just going by the Papa Dave's 5-star ratings. This all is just who you think are the matches that were stellar. Which ones just grabbed you and just wouldn't let go, and you just can't forget about them when you think of 2023. And that's how I look at the matches here. So I'm going to start, Jeff, this one with you. And I mean, of all the amazing matches we had, and we had some. I mean, this list, and there's more that aren't on here.
There's more.
It's just a tremendous list of matches. Wrestling matches that we had this year, but I'm going to go to you first. Which one is yours? Is it one on this list? Is it not one on this list? Let everybody know, and everybody out in the chat, you guys get a little bit of time yet to think about yours.
I have a flat-footed tie too for me,
Okay.
but they're different ones than what we have on the screen.
Okay.
At the beginning of 2023, I was on a little bit of a break. And I was very upset because the 2 of you,
I know where you're going.
Josh Alexander versus Speedball Mike Bailey,
Dude.
in essentially an impromptu Iron Man match almost.
Oh my God, man.
And that match, I was thinking, like, during the year, there's not a match that can top that one for me. Like, I was set. I mean, yeah, I saw Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, and like I've seen so many Will Ospreay matches at this point. Everything he does is just phenomenal. I think I don't think the guy's capable of having a bad match. But the other one for me, because of the stakes, because of how they built the program, Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. That match was violent. It was bloody. It was everything that you would expect to happen if a person broke into your house and, inhibited the safety of your family. Like, that's what you would expect to see in a showdown. And they brought it. They brought it. So those are my 2, but these 2 I can't argue with. But yeah, those are my 2.
Mark is agreeing with you out in the chat. Yeah, dude. You know what? It's funny because of course I remember me and Tazzy did the show. I hardly even remember that was last year. It almost seems like it was longer than last year ago.
Yeah.
But oh my God, what a match. It was just an impromptu match. It just came out of nowhere. There was no announcement for it or anything like that. And it just came out of nowhere. Me and Tazzy were just sitting there like going like, is this going to go an hour? It just kept going. What a match that was. I mean, and one of the probably best matches I may have ever seen in wrestling was unbelievable, dude. Great. Yeah. Great shout. I was just unbelievable, man. How many great matches has Speedball Mike Bailey been involved in?
Oh,
Kudos to
yeah.
him. He's just killing it. Just been involved in so many awesome matches. Kazi, you go, man. What do you have for your match of the year 2023?
You might hear this. Might get a repeat on this, but I'm going to tell you this: the matches where we had the whole year is crazy because, especially like I don't even remember half of them, but I know they was good. But half of them. This oh my god, that was my close second. That was literally my close second. My other close second was the Carmelo Hayes and Ian Dragunov match. I actually got to see that personally, and like in the ring, and you hear those chops felt like gunshots. That's how Lana was in the arena. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But one match, and I'm the reason why I picked this, I'm gonna go back. One of my favorite matches back in the day, I can't remember the two. If I mean, they fought in a Texas death match, and I was like, this is crazy. You could put this on TV, right? And I just fell in love with those type of matches. That's why if you guys know me, I like violent matches. Partly James Chatwood do too. But it's just but the storyline, like just said, of somebody coming to your home and you're like, oh no, he didn't. You can't make that a regular match.
No.
You either have to do a no disqualification. Probably, you know what probably would have been even better? Probably a steel cage with weapons inside. that would be even more crazier. But oh my god, I mean, even the first of all, you have to really hate somebody to staple your son's picture on somebody's cheek.
Yeah.
That's insane. Actually, quite frankly, staple his chest, staple his face. I can't remember what else. I'm sorry, not getting staple another
stapled himself.
Yes.
Stapled himself.
Yeah, like are you that crazy right now? Like you know what part it was? He probably was so numb he probably didn't feel it anymore.
I'll tell you this though, he felt that crap after.
Oh yeah. He probably had some ice. Everything. It's like ridiculous. Wow, and the sight of his face after the match, it was damn near number one for me. It was number one for me. So I'm picking Swerve Strickland and Heyman had a page. Kudos to Heyman had a page to that too, because he haven't had a lot of good matches this year, but that was one of them. So
we got a lot of crazy staple play this year, and good man. Hats off to good old PCO, buddy. There's a man who stapled his lips to his own face. Don't think I've ever seen that in pro wrestling ever. So yeah, we've had some crazy matches this year. I'm gonna go and look. The Speedball and Ospreay was probably going to be my number one until I saw him wrestle Josh Alexander. Oh my god, dude! Those two men just beat the living hell out of each other and move after move after move. When I could sit there and watch a match on a watch along, and you are just seeing one finisher, another finisher, and you're just like, oh my god, like when is this going to end? Who's going to win this match? That was just insane. And the fact that we're getting a sequel, oh man, you can if you're going to watch, if you're not watching Hard to Kill, you want to watch it just for that. That's just incredible. That's actually on Snake Eyes, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's on Snake Eyes.
So that's not even Hard to Kill. That's the next week.
Yeah,
So that's basically the first televised episode of Impact or TNA Wrestling. That's going to be after the pay-per-view. You're going to get the part 2 of that. You can't miss that.
He's going up against Hammerstone at Hard to Kill.
That's right. He's got Hammerstone.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Josh, listen. If you don't think that Josh Alexander belongs up at the top of the mountain with all of the other champions that are out there, you are out of your mind. Josh is just incredible. He takes on all comers. It doesn't matter who they are, and he looks absolutely incredible in the ring with them. And that match with Will Ospreay was unbelievable. I couldn't even. I'm just sitting back there. I couldn't call the match. I'm like, oh my god, like every other word out of my mouth. It was absolutely tremendous, and kudos to both of them. And I'm excited for what both of them are going to do this year in their careers, because like they said, we're going to see Josh up against Hammerstone, which is going to be unbelievable. But yeah, that is mine match of the year. So, and the Mike Bailey and Josh match close behind. Because I forgot that was last year, but yeah, that was unbelievable. All right, let's see what we got from the chat here. We have got Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew. Josh and Mike Bailey, says Little Silver. The Intercontinental Championship triple threat for Mania 39. I can make a case for Hangman and Strickland Texas Death Match at Full Gear. Hello, Andrea. How are you? Late entry and my winner, Jun Kusai versus Nick Gage at Aftermath, December 31st. Wow, that came in right under the wire. Nice. Adam Cole versus MJF at AEW All In 2023. Swerve versus Hangman, Texas Deathmatch as Damian, MJF and Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryanson, you had it backwards.
Same thing.
You're screwing me up. Swerve versus Hangman, but anything Ospreay is in is a banger. I already picked MJF versus Danielson Iron Man match. There are plenty of managers over the years. I'm talking about Paul Ellering, PCO, and Steve Macklin. Oh my God, dude. I've never seen that much blood. I just got done watching Saw 10, and I'm not sure there was more blood in Saw 10 than there was in that match. I have never seen a wrestler bleed as much as I did Macklin in that match. Honest to God, I thought the man was going to pass out. I mean, literally, his blood was all over the floor of that ring, on the outside of it was literally just streaming out of his head. And then, of course, with the staple, that was insane. Match of the year. What match was Will Ospreay in 2023? I picked that one. Yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. Versus Danielson, Ospreay versus Mike Bailey, and Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew. I love Josh versus Will Ospreay from Impact Wrestling, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, which is both were very good. Josh and Mike Bailey. Mark mentioned that, like I said before. Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Okay, Swag fan. All right. You know what? That was a pretty good match for Bad Bunny.
That was a really good match. That was a good match.
Yeah, like probably better than a lot of people thought it would be. Dan said Sammy and KO versus the Usos, followed by Gunther versus Chad Gable, and Cody versus Roman, despite the result. Ospreay versus Speedball was insane. Mike Bailey woke my ass up with that match against Speedball and Will. Yeah, God, it was so good. Page versus Swerve was indeed fire. Gunther versus Chad Gable. That was an amazing match, and that took place on a Raw, which is crazy because you sometimes don't see that on weekly television. So PCO was fire versus Macklin. Hopefully we get all new Superstars theme music since we're in TNA wrestling era again. All right. We're halfway through, guys. So for the first time ever on our awards show, Jeff has made up what they call an in memoriam. We see this on award shows a lot, whether it be the Oscars, the Grammys, and stuff like that. And it unfortunately holds very near and dear to our hearts this year in the world of pro wrestling. We lost a lot of people this year, unfortunately. And like I said, some older veterans, some very young and just starting their careers. So we are going to pay tribute to those men. Was there any women, Jeff, that we haven't in there? I can't remember now.
No, not in here. Not in here. And I want to say this too. I know that there are probably some folks that I missed, and I apologize.
Obviously.
It was not done intentionally, but please know that we want to pay respects to everyone that we lost in 2020.
Yeah, if there is somebody that isn't on here that you guys know about, or somebody that we did not have on here, it is by no means, like Jeff said, intentional, and it's just that research and stuff like that. This is what we put together. So, all right, Jeff. Jeff is going to have the in memoriam for us right now. Was a very hard year for a lot of people in 2023. And may they all rest in peace. They touched our lives in many, many, many ways. Of course, you guys all know one in particular in Bray really, led to so much for our show. And we've talked about that on his remembrance show that we did way back when. But all of these people were people I grew up with. The Iron Sheik, I remember very fondly watching him. Superstar Billy Graham, remember very fondly watching him on weekly TV on Saturday mornings and stuff. And, just so many people. Jay Briscoe, just gone way too soon. Tragically. And so, but we're to remember them for the impression that they left in our lives. I know a lot of you out there, and I know Jeff and Jody, and we're able to meet Bray, and there are a lot of other people that have met some of these wrestlers at one time or another, and they were able to to touch your lives in some way. But we sometimes forget that these people pour everything into this for us. They're on the road all the time, away from their families, doing this to entertain us, and just absolutely wonderful tribute, and just such a hard year It, we aren't on as much as other shows are that I listen to, like Busted Open and stuff like that. And almost every other podcast I've listened to from them, at a point during the middle of this year, they were paying tribute to someone who passed away. So it was rough. It was a rough year, but this goes for all of you out there. If any of you have lost family, friends, or anything throughout the course of this past year, again, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go out to you as well. And I'm sure that the families of some of these people, some of them already are doing it. But you might see some of these people in the wrestling business down the road that may take up the mantle, so to speak, from some of these people who we lost. So wonderful tribute, Jeff. It was just amazing. And I obviously want your guys' thoughts. This was a tough year. This was a really, really, really tough year. Tazzy,
not gonna say too much because I'll try to, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think the big old one was Bray, because like the dude was my this generation's Undertaker, and I was like, oh yes, like I know the Undertaker was retiring. I was like, okay, it's how the torch was passed. That's what hurt. It was like the torch was passed. It was ready to go, and then that happened. I'm like, wow, it's insane. And then everybody else, like half of the Bushwhackers, Dross. If anybody know the Dross story, it's really a suck. It sucks. It really do sucks.
Sad story. Sad story.
It sucks. It sucks. It's if you guys want to know the story, go back and watch. I make sure you guys go back. It's just all the stories. It's like what the people we lost. So make sure you guys just whenever you guys see your loved ones, just say you love them. No matter what, just say you love them. All right.
Yep. Jeff, obviously, like I said, a wonderful piece of film that you did there, and the music was fantastic as well. Just some final thoughts from you.
Yeah, I think last year was incredibly difficult. I know a lot of people personally that lost people last year, and and then you think about wrestling, and many of these folks, like Joe said, we grew up on superstar Billy Graham, Lanny Poffo. Growing up down south, Jerry Jarrett. When it came to wrestling and wrestling promotions, the man was king of the mountain. So I will say that the two this year that hit me incredibly hard are two guys that were younger than me and tragically passed away. One was Jay Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
Such a shocker at the beginning of the year. And it was just really, really difficult. Hearing the circumstances, learning that his daughters were involved in the accident and that kind of thing, it just breaks your heart. But obviously Bray Wyatt passing, and anyone that's watched our channel for an extended period of time knows how much we love the man. My goodness, we had a dedicated show that that continued on when he got released, and we kept the show going, and he meant so much to so many different people, and he helped people in ways that I don't think, unless you're a fan of wrestling or some form of entertainment, you don't get the connection that fans can have with these folks. It really is something when you lose someone like that. But one of the things that I want to say, I know this is a sad part, but maybe this is something that we can look forward to in 2024. The love and community and togetherness that I've seen from people all the fireflies since Bray's passing has really been heartwarming. And, seeing people bring up memories and think about some of the fun times and look at some of the old, Firefly Funhouse episodes and some of those things. I mean, it's sad that he's no longer here, but he left us so many great memories and he created family for so many of us. So yeah, that's my those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wanted to do this. We wanted to remember them and the effect that they had on each and every one of us in all different ways. So awesome. Very good. All right. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to go forward. So we're going to go on to our next part of the show, and that is our award number 6, which is the female match of the year. So as hard as it was to figure out what the male match of the year, this is going to be hard as well. The nominees for female match of the year are as follows: Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Julia versus Tam Nakano at Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom. Mercedes Moné versus Kyrie, Battle in the Valley. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky at Backlash. Tiffany Stratton versus Becky Lynch, NXT No Mercy. Masha Slamovich versus Mickie James, Impact No Surrender. Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace, Impact Rebellion. Trinity versus Deonna Purrazzo at Slammiversary. Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura at AEW Rampage. Athena versus Willow Nightingale at Ring of Honor. And there were 3 write-ins. Mickie James versus Jordynne Grace. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. And Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair at Royal Rumble 2023. So there you go. And Jeff, the winner was this was a clean-cut winner in this one. This one wasn't very close.
This one wasn't close, but yeah, here we go.
And the winner is
Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. 30% of the vote went there. The next highest was a tie with Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch and Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo. Then we went down to Masha and Mickie James, which was right below them. And then we had Athena and Willow along with Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace, along with Mercedes and Kyrie. So lots of great women's matches this year. This, of course, was a repeat. We had this match back in COVID WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people may not remember because we try to put that out of our minds. That was tremendous back then, and they did it in front of no fans. So this was a repeat match. Listen, anytime Charlotte Flair is involved in something, it's more than likely going to be good because that's just how good Charlotte Flair is. And, of course, this was when Rhea Ripley won that title. So that is the match you all voted in. I'm going to go and start with Tazzy. Tazzy, your women's match of the year.
First of all, big shout out to the women this year. Last year. I'm sorry. Last year, it was tons of great talent all over, like all the promotions. Hey, there's one promotion that I still remember this day, way back in June. NXT did almost a full women's match for women's event. I'm like, who does this? Shawn Michaels does, apparently. I'm like, wow. Impact had awesome matches. It's like we saw them personally. It was like, what? Story time with B Tazzy. You ready? So this day, I drove up. I took a little road trip. 4-hour road trip, by the way. 4 hours to go do this. 4 hours to Bakersfield, California, to see a match that was the main event. I didn't know it until I got there. It was the main event, and to see these two One of them is a well-known talent, and one is a future WWE World Champion or WWE Champion. I am talking about the match between Tiffany Stratus and Becky Lynch, which, mind you, by the way, was not just a regular match. It was a hardcore match. And I have never seen this live in person, these type of matches. I am so happy I got to saw it because I got to saw the bat with the barbed wire. I never thought WWE would actually bring it back, but they did it. I was it was one of those awesome matches, man. I'm like, by the way, I don't know you guys remember the match where the like Becky Lynch had the little bag and then it was like a bunch of Barbie dolls or whatever. I have one of those Barbie dolls. I can't find it, but I have one of those Barbie dolls. It flew all over the place. Obviously Becky Lynch threw it, but anyway, probably mainly because I actually went to saw the match personally. Probably why I like the match. And this match that we have on the screen, what we had on, was probably another. You good? It's probably another one of those good awesome matches. That's just a regular match. I loved it. It was a good story behind it because it was kind of like a torch pass too. Honestly, if you think about it. So yeah, so Tiffany Stratus and oh my god, and Becky Lynch, crazy match.
Nice, yeah, awesome. If I'm not mistaken, this match here went for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
If I'm correct in remembering it, this was just an outstanding match in a year, like Tazzy had mentioned, of outstanding women's matches. And again, I'll say the same thing kind of here that I did about the tag team matches. And Tazzy already iterated it as well. Women, here they come. Here they come. One of the things we talk about always with TNA is they have the best women's division going, and I'll say that with any amount of certainty. But man, I'll tell you, they're starting to step it up in the other companies. Man, they are starting to step it up in the other companies, and you are seeing more and more tremendous matches coming from these women's wrestlers. The fact that so many of these the matches on this list, Mercedes and Kyrie wasn't seen. You know, unless you stayed up like super late, early in the morning in some places to even watch it. And then you saw highlights and stuff of it. And you could obviously have watched it afterward, but so many amazing women's matches this year. This one here is my choice. Just because just over and over, back and forth. And a lot of people would say that, well, this was predictable. You knew that Rhea was going to win. It didn't go that way. And you just never knew until the very, very end of the match. They were just both destroying each other in that ring. And Rhea did win it, and good for her. You know, that she a lot of people thought she would have won it during the COVID one. But of course that, without having an audience there, but this was mine as well. But I'll tell you what, man, some of these nominees, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace that was at Rebellion. Yes. Fantastic match. Absolutely fantastic match. Athena and Willow Nightingale. What a feud that they had. And Mickie James was involved in some bangers this year. I mean, there have been a lot of great women's matches this past year in 2023. It was this was a tough one to pick. Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I mean, this was a tough year to pick, and thank you to the companies for showcasing your female talent, for showcasing these talented athletes, for closing shows with women storylines, for main eventing cards with these matches. Thank you for doing that. We want to see more of that in 2024 and beyond. I gotta be honest, I'm struggling with this one because there are so many good ones. Deonna Purrazzo. Just about any time her and Jordan Grace or her and really anyone get together, just quite impressive. I'm gonna throw one out that kind of made my top three. I haven't really been picking anything if people haven't noticed. I've just kind of been a politician, so to speak, you know, straddling the fence. But I'm gonna throw out, and I forget which episode it was on, but Deanna Perrazzo and Giselle Shaw.
I know which
Um,
one you're talking about. Yep.
yeah, that was a great match, and we got it on just a Thursday episode of Impact. Uh, they tend to do that. They tend to put like match of the year contenders on, just weekly episodes because that's what TNA does now. So I
Message.
don't think I don't think that'll change in 2024. I think they'll continue to do that. Athena and Willow, another great one. This other one that I'm going to throw out there is one that, again, not a lot of people saw because not as many people follow Stardom and New Japan as they probably need to. And listen, there's a lot of content, so we don't expect you to get to everything. Heck, I don't get to everything. I try to, but that's probably why I have insomnia. But I know that Mercedes got hurt in this match, but her and Willow, that was a great match up until the point that she got hurt. It was a great match, I thought. So yeah, those are kind of my ones this year. But yeah, I think that this was 2023 was a great year for women's wrestling, and I think 2024 is going to be even better. And think about this right now. One of the hottest topics being discussed on social media when it comes to wrestling is where is a top tier women's talented wrestler, where is she going to end up? That's the buzz right now. And that's great. That's great that we're in that time.
It's crazy how far it's come.
Yeah.
You probably, if we would have been doing this show 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had this award.
No, probably not. You're probably right.
I mean, 10 years ago, women were valets. Yeah, for the most part, they were valets. 15 years ago on WCW, they were coming out in between matches like cheerleaders. The Nitro girls.
Yep.
You wouldn't have had it. It has definitely come a long way, no doubt. And I expect that. I expect more. And like Jeff said, the woman he's talking about is demanding a humongous amount of money. And man, you know what I got to say to that? You go, girl. Hey, if the men can demand it, why not? Why not? You proved yourself. You went out there and made a name for yourself, and you deserve whatever the hell it is you get. And so, yeah, we are in that world now, and it's fun. It is absolutely fun. Some places.
That's why sometimes it's great to bet on yourself.
Yes. Some shows spotlight it. Some maybe can do a little better job with it. But nevertheless, it's here to stay. Let's see what you got to say in the chat. We've got Mickie James versus Trinity. Fantastic match. And I love the end of that and how Mickie kind of tipped her cap to Trinity moving forward. Yes, tremendous match. Tiffany versus Becky. Alexa versus Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble. Trish versus Becky. Mercedes versus Kyrie, and Grace versus Mickie. Alexa versus Bianca. Rhea versus Charlotte in a cakewalk here with Becky versus Trish's blow-off match in the steel cage. That was a really good match. That was a really good steel cage match. Me and Andrew were split between Ripley versus Flair and Trinity versus Deanna. Trish versus Becky, Mercedes versus Kyrie, and Grace versus Mickie. There are many, but I think Charlotte versus Ripley takes number one as well. Bliss and Belair. Can we have a special award for Tiffany Stratton's costume maker? How there is an wardrobe malfunction every match is a minor miracle.
She had one Tuesday.
You are right, Jeremy, Bliss, and Bianca. I want to mention Deanna versus Tasha. That was a great match, too. That's a good shout. Deanna and Tasha Steeles. Yeah, that was just another regular episode of Impact. Yep. Bonus Baby is saying, book your women, brother. We can't all be James Chadwick and watch it all. Honorary mention, Fina versus Billy Starks in a Ring of Honor final battle. Women's wrestling has come a long way. Yeah, it absolutely has. And I want to see more. I want to see more. All right, we're going on. We're going on to our next one. This is a fun award. This is a fun one. The most shocking.
I wonder what it could be.
The most shocking wrestling moment of the year 2023. The most shocking moment of the year. And here are your shocking nominees. We had Impact announces its end and changes back to TNA. Edge debuts in AEW. Kairi Sane's return to WWE. Sting announces his retirement. Cody loses to Roman and Joe flips out at WrestleMania. The Ascent of LA Knight.
I remember that. I remember that. So does Pepperidge Farm.
My God, I lost it. That was the first and ever time I think I've ever lost my mind on a stream. I totally lost it.
I'm gonna drop an expletive here and say Joe lost his shit is what it was.
I did. Oh my God. I was on a rant on that, like up there with Dave LaGreca after that ended. I had like a 15-minute rant that I just kept going and going and going and going and couldn't stop. I was so freaking mad, dude.
I mean, just to see me and just face on that.
Yeah, they were like politely just sitting there, letting me go. And I mean, I'm just on and on and on and on. Dude, I was so pissed. That was when I got so emotionally involved in that match. And then when that didn't happen, I was so freaking mad. Oh my God. I was fuming on that. I literally had to go bang my head off walls after I got off that stream. I was so mad. I was furious. Absolutely furious. The Ascent of LA Knight. WWE acquired by Endeavor and merges with UFC. Mercedes Moné debuts in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Randy Orton returns from major back surgery and 3 write-ins. Johnny Swinger winning a match. I love whoever wrote that in. I love whoever wrote that in. Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns.
Again.
And there you go. All right. So, wait, hold on. I missed one.
Yeah.
You ready? CM Punk fired from AEW and returns to WWE at Survivor Series. So there you go. They are your nominees, Jeff. And the winner is.
And the winner is.
Well, damn, I'm shocked.
Was it really a surprise?
Shocked. I was shocked. Oh my God.
Was this ever in doubt at all? I mean, you could have put I don't know. You could have put UFO flies down and kidnaps wrestler in a ring, and CM Punk still would have won this. It's just
by a mile, too.
By a mile. Yeah, it wouldn't have even been close. Aliens come down, kidnap wrestler. Nope, CM Punk. Yeah, gee. This was overwhelming. 56% of the vote went to this. The next closest was at 7%, so I'm not even going to talk about him because it doesn't really even matter. This was just astonishing, astronomical. A lot of people kind of were saying they thought it was going to happen, but they waited with it and they positioned it so it didn't happen when everybody kind of thought it would. And then people kind of didn't know, well, what's going to happen here and blah, blah, blah. Myself included. I kind of thought, and I'm like, nah, he's on a 90-day. He can't come back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I was wrong. And yeah, CM Punk, Listen, I could probably put the TNA announcement up there with this a little bit, but it's not. It's not really even that close. For me, it would have been second for sure because I definitely didn't expect it. I'm sitting, and Jeff can tell you when we're doing that watch along, and we're sitting there at the end, and we're watching that whole little vignette. And they're coming out of the water with that trunk and all that kind of stuff that they were doing, and you saw like all the impact people around, and then they flick it open, and then that was a mark out moment. When that happened, we're like, oh my God, they're going back to TNA. So that was amazing. But this was nobody saw coming. Nobody saw this coming. If you would have polled people at the beginning of the like I'm talking the beginning of last year before he was fired, that CM Punk by the end of last year would have ended up back in WWE, everybody would have said that you're smoking something. So this was just, I mean, it's hard to say that you can't call this one but we're going to go round table anyway. So I'll start with Jeff. Jeff, I mean, do you have anything at all more shocking than the whole CM Punk storyline?
Absolutely not. There's honestly with this, again, like you said, if you had asked people at the beginning of last year, if you just told someone at the beginning of last year, hey, guess what? Got something for you. CM Punk is going to end up out of AEW. Not only is he going to end up out of AEW, he's going to get fired. And icing on top, somehow hell officially freezes over and he goes back to WWE. I mean, the sale of WWE to Endeavor, that's a huge deal.
Yeah,
in most years, that's what we're talking about with this moment. But this is 2023 wasn't most years. So the fact that CM Punk, after a decade and all of the stuff that was said back and forth and all of the history, for him to come back to that company, that topped the list for me.
Yep, absolutely, man. Tazzy, go right ahead, man.
Story time with me, Tazzy. So, that day was crazy. One, I didn't know I was doing the watch along. And two, I was like, all right, this is gonna be a very interesting show because you guys know that's literally one of my favorite things is watching war games. So I'm like, okay, that's gonna be a good show anyway, no matter what. First of all, let's go back. Apparently the firing was actually a firing like, hey, we're terminating your contract. We don't care where you go after this. That's basically what happened with that. Maybe he had a 30-day non-compete, so he don't go right to him right away. But I think Tony Khan should have waited and did a 90-day just so he wouldn't show up day when he did. Because if you guys was with me, you saw the mark out. I didn't know. I kind of figured, but I was like, I didn't know. I was like, maybe it will happen in the Rumble. And then typical Triple H show. They do the whole, see y'all later. Here comes the graphic and everything. And next thing you know, here comes. I'm like, oh.
Hold on. Yeah,
exactly. Let's just put it like this. I did a reaction video to it, but the reaction video I can't even put on. I couldn't monetize it. Let's put it like that. That's how I was in the moment. That's the good thing about wrestling. Like you be so in the moment at times. You're like you forget everything. Like there's times like even when back in the day, one of our reactions was Bray came back after he got burnt, and it was like
we were all on that stream.
Yeah,
that was
that was
a big moment. Man, we had so many moments on the show. It's crazy. But oh my God, just to be like, oh my God. And it's like, no matter what you do, what I'm telling you right now, I'm saying, look, hold on. I don't care what you do right now, Tony Khan. You cannot beat that for at least a couple of years. So yeah, that's it.
It's a great point. When you look at an award like this, um, shocking moment of the year, you can almost look at it as a markout moment. When you hear people talk about markout moments, and this is when you'll turn to your YouTubes and you'll see a whole bunch of creators doing a whole bunch of crazy things because it's something that you completely just did not see coming. And this is what is fun about all of this is the fact that you can see something like this happen and you can have a genuine reaction. Like I know we were joking about me flipping out about Cody losing. It was a genuine reaction. I just reacted. And sometimes that's what wrestling does. You just react to something that you see. Almost like, I'm sure people marked out when The Rock came back the other night and said what he said about the head of the table, and that whole arena marked out. So this is what wrestling does. And when wrestling is great and when it works, you get moments like this. And this, it's just like I said, it's like Jeff was saying earlier, no one would have had this in their notebook penned as something that might ever happen. No one. Whether he got fired, sure. I'm sure some people might have had that as a thought, but no one would have seen this coming. No one in a million years would have seen this coming. So huge moment. I don't think there's really much of anything else you could put up against it. Let me see what the chat's got. Gee, I wonder who it could be, says Brandon. Good night, Jeremy. Look in my eyes. What do you see? CM Punk back in WWE. WWE being sold and praised. Death, says Deanna. Okay. All right. I mean, shocking, of course. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. CM Punk returning. CM Punk returns. TNA announcement takes number one. The others didn't really surprise me too much, including CM Punk return. Okay. Vince out of WWE. CM Punk returns, and it's not even close. I agree on Johnny Swinger winning a match. That's funny. Can't believe someone wrote that in. That's hilarious. CM Punk returns. I lost my mind when his theme hit. I went with the TNA thing, but you cannot go wrong with this option either. I was there in the building with Andrew when this happens to Damien. I was about to say CM Punk comes back and Joe eats crow. Yes, that's true. I did eat a lot of crow that very next day. Yes, I did. It wasn't tasty, but I did. It was great seeing CM Punk in WWE. It didn't really surprise me. Vince selling WWE to Endeavor. Same here, James. When his music hits, I lose my mind as well. I always told people before that Punk never say never. Deanna says the night Joe lost his mind. Yes, we should clip that and title that the night Joe lost his mind, because I definitely did. What makes it even more shocking is Meltzy couldn't spoil it. Yeah, that was what was cool about it too, is no one spoiled that. However they hit it, they did it very well, and no one knew. No one spoiled it. So I agree. The Bray thing, when he came back, we knew it was coming because of the vignettes. We knew the White Rabbit and all that kind of stuff. We knew that was leading somewhere. We didn't know maybe when, but we knew it was coming. This, there was really no warning. People kind of guessed, but there wasn't any spoiler warning. So, yep, it's better. Listen, I tell you guys this all the time. Wrestling's way better without it. Way better without spoilers. If you can avoid them, do it. The crowd loved it. Loved it. Even him breaking the internet record of fans watching in the video of it. Hello, A. Jobson. How are you? Shocking to me is something you don't see coming. All the nominees can be difficult to see, but I could see it being a possibility. I did not see the return of TNA. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We were shocked with it too.
Yeah.
Yep. I mark out of it as well when Rock says about Roman. All right, moving on. We're going to go to award number 8. And that is the feud of the year. So this is feud of the year. By a feud, it could be, I think we just have one-on-ones here. Yeah. One-on-one feud of the year. This could be, I think this is mixed. I don't think we have male or female here. Oh, no. Okay. We have tag teams included. And there are. Yeah. Male, female, or tag team. So this is just a mix of anything, really. So feud of the year. Here are your nominees. We have Cody versus Brock, WWE. We have Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, AEW. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins, WWE. Gunther versus Chad Gable, WWE. MJF versus Bryan Danielson, AEW. FTR versus the Young Bucks, AEW. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes, NXT. Mike Bailey versus Jonathan Gresham. My God, those two men wrestled a lot against each other last year in Impact Wrestling. ABC versus the Rascals in Impact Wrestling. Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity. They wrestled a lot too. And then there were other vote-ins. We had Dominic Mysterio versus the Fans. I don't know who wrote that one in. Matt Cardona versus Nick Gage in GCW. And Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. So there you go. They are your nominees for Feud of the Year. And Jeff, I do believe there's another tie here.
There's a tie. So here we go.
Here we go.
And the winner is
We've got a tie, folks. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. And we have MJF and Bryan Danielson in a tie here. A lot of voting around this one. We had the two of them win at 15%. We had the next one down with Shinsuke and Seth at 11, tied with ABC and the Rascals, tied with Deonna and Trinity. So that was a three-way tie for second place. And then we had Braun Breaker and Carmelo wasn't far behind, tied with Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham. So this was just all over the place. But this was the top two and the winners of the award. So Brock and Cody, listen, after I was mad about the result of that, we got this the following night. And they went right into this long feud with Cody and Brock, which, if I remember correctly, spanned 3 pay-per-views. They had 3 matches. And it was a really, really amazing feud that they went to. So, in fact, he called it Hard Times, very similar to the John Cena Hard Times back in the day. So a good feud. And, of course, Danielson and MJF was great as well. You know, Jeff and I talked about this, I think, on some of our Sunday night shows with Danielson and MJF. This probably really established, and I could be wrong, but this probably really established MJF as the guy he is today. And kudos to Bryan Danielson, because this is what Bryan Danielson does. He just makes people that much better when he wrestles them. And the knock on MJF before this year was, can this guy really stick in a match? We don't see him wrestle very much. Can he stay with a guy like Bryan Danielson for this long of a time? Is that even possible? And he showed he could. So, both of these were great feuds. I'm going to go to you guys. Jeff, I'll start with you. Is there anybody else other than the 2 award winners that you would put into this, that would be your pick for Feud of the Year?
Yes, and I mentioned it earlier, but Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland.
Okay. I kind of think Tazzy might have the same one.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the best feuds that I've seen built in a long time, like built logically, made sense. Then you get to a match that honestly is the correct way to pay off a feud like this. You got to have blood, you got to have violence, you got to have some crazy crap, and people stapling faces and stapling themselves. That's crazy. So I think the way that they built this feud up was just tremendous, and then the payoff that we got was great too. So but I mean, I can't go against either of these, but that's just my feud of the year.
Yeah, I really have to watch that match. I did not see that match.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, as much as you guys have been telling me about it, and the people, like, I remember Derek was saying stuff about, I really have to watch that match. Yeah. Tazzy, what you got? I'm kind of thinking you may have been in agreement with Jeff there.
Ditto, but I think it's time. I think it's time for me to do something that I haven't did in 2024. You guys ready?
Uh-oh.
The storyline in this whole feud was insane. It was crazy. But his psychology in the ring in this match, Oh my god, dude! Like everything fit perfectly. Like everything made sense in the match. Like there was no every match, like the staple in the face, the picture on the face on the cheek, and oh my god, dude! It's just incredible. The feud itself, it started. Let's be honest, it started just a tad slow, and then it just ramped up. I'm like, oh, what's happening here? And then they had the match, and then after that, it was like, what are he doing in his house? What are we just gonna just do a whole Bray and Miz thing again? Like that's what we're going to do. Like that's what we're going to do, and then. Oh my god! And then he went to the baby crib. That sounds familiar. Baby crib. I'm like, what? And then they had the match. I'm like, and you just see. Let's be real. I'll be real, and not just be real. To see Swerve's face, just the way it was. It's just the coloration and everything. It was like, wow, wow. He's wow.
Yeah.
And of course, you couldn't pick the two right people to actually do this match. It was just like it was amazing, and just the feud itself, it's like wow. I am down to see them fight for the title now. Put them in a cage. Let's go. Put them in a cage.
I can't speak on that because I haven't seen it. But I will say. The one that you voted, one of the ones, the Cody and Brock, the way that ended, I absolutely loved. I never thought, you want to talk about a surprising thing? I never thought I would see Brock Lesnar do what he did. He not only put Cody over, but he basically came out and shook his hand. And not to smash him around when he did it, because we've seen stuff like that before from Brock, but genuine mutual respect from Brock Lesnar to Cody Rhodes. And that was a pretty awesome way to end that. Did not expect that. Did not. These two men did have a war, and Cody survived it, and Cody was a better man, and Brock let him know that. So that was pretty cool way to end it. So, all right, let me see what you guys are saying. I'm going to have to back up all the way up here. Let me see. All right, we have Chris Skilly. Hey, Chris, how are you? We've got let me see a little further down. Alexa and Bianca Belair. Mike Bailey versus Jonathan Gresham was the vote me and Andrew had. Totally see that. They just fought each other every week almost, it seemed.
And we didn't mind it. We didn't mind it at all.
No, I mean the matches they had were tremendous. Anything those guys do, tremendous. Kevin Dunn versus TKO, but I'd go Cody versus Brock with Becky versus Trish second, HBK versus Grayson Waller third. We have hey John G. For me, it's Jordan and Deonna. Yeah, I was going to put that up there too. Jordan and Deonna had some amazing matches. Absolutely. Carmelo versus Trick Williams made even better by one not even being sure they're feuding. If anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the feud between Cody and Brock was when he tore his pectoral. I feel like that was what helped the feud matter. I've caught on to Swerve kind of late, but he's fast becoming one of my favorites. Yeah, he tore his pec before that. Yeah, that was the Seth Rollins thing. Swerve, Hangman. I already mentioned Eddie Edwards and PCO. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good shout. They were feuding forever, it seemed.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And Eddie and Frankie Kazarian was also tremendous. Good calls.
PCO and Macklin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. There were some good ones in Impact that went on for a while. Brock and Cody.
PCO and Bully.
Oh, my God. The PCO Bully one. Oh, that was hilarious.
Or battery ass.
Or the battery gas. Like lit him on fire. I mean, he basically did everything you could do to a man and have him still live. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. We're moving on. What's next?
All right. Up next, best pay-per-view /PLE of the. Is 2024 going to be the year of the PLE?
It might be because I think Impact or TNA are calling theirs PLEs now too.
Yeah, and MLW is as well.
I think the words PPV is probably going to go AWAY for the but yeah. So here we go. All right, the nominees for best PLE of the year. We'll get used to it now. WrestleMania 39, night 1 and 2, so a combination of both. AEW All In, Impact Slammiversary, AEW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, WWE Money in the Bank, AEW Revolution, NXT Vengeance Day, Impact Bound for Glory, New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence, WWE Backlash, and then there were 3 write-ins. IPWF Throwback Throwdown was a write-in.
Wow.
I love whoever wrote that, and that's fantastic. GCW Homecoming 2023 and WWE Elimination Chamber was voted in as well. This was pretty overwhelming here, the winner. So, Jeff, winner for best PLE of the year. And I think this has been a repeat winner.
Yeah, this has been a repeat, but here we go.
And the winner is
WrestleMania 39. The Goes Hollywood, both nights, is your winner. Pretty heavy winner here. 39%. They were. I'm sorry, 26%. They were first. Second from that was a tie. AEW All In and Impact Bound for Glory were tied for second place in the voting. And then third was kind of a surprise. The AEW New Japan Forbidden Door was the third one as the kind of a little bit of surprise there. So, but yeah, this is a hard one to vote because when you watch these things, you can love an entire PLE or pay-per-view, but then you also just have tremendous matches from some of the other ones that you really remember, maybe more so than the rest of the show. So you kind of maybe almost even put those out of your mind a little bit. WrestleMania is just branded so well, and it's become just like the staple of these kind of things, and especially since now it being 2 nights, I think people have a tendency maybe to enjoy it more rather than having that one Mania that's like 4 hours long or 5 hours sometimes, and I think they enjoy the 2-night thing a little bit more. So I'd have a hard time really honestly arguing with any of these. If you were to tell me another one that you loved, it's going to probably mean just that much to you. For me, Impact Bound for Glory was amazing. Slammiversary was also very good. WrestleMania, of course, very enjoyable. The Vengeance Day, NXT Vengeance Day was awesome too. So there were a lot of these that I really liked. So could have gone really either way, and I'm never going to really say that WrestleMania isn't a good choice. So because there were some really, really great matches at that WrestleMania. Tazzy, what do you got?
Yeah, it was just hard. Kudos to all the promotions this year. I don't think I've seen a bad pay-per-view this year. Sorry, pay-per-view / PLE this year. Yeah. It was like it was pretty good in 2023. I don't think no. See what happens when you get rid of the booking decisions. You get everybody doing well. Anyway, sorry, I love you, Vince. I just had to do it. I'm sorry. It was so many. Like WrestleMania was good. The Backlash Puerto Rico show. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Crowd was amazing. Yeah. Even Money in the Bank. We forget about Money in the Bank. That was crazy. That's the Usos. Usos and the Bloodline. Oh my god, dude. It was crazy. I almost went with the pay-per-view I actually went to, and that was No Mercy for NXT. I was this close. And then here comes Survivor Series. First of all, the War Games match itself, both of them was amazing. was very driven by storylines, where it was perfect. We actually had the Gunther versus Miz match, was actually really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's keep it real. And then let me just go ahead and say it. First of all, Randy Orton coming back. Wow.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
okay, just to see. First of all, your first match back is a War Games match.
Right?
Why? But okay, sure, let's do that.
He took
And
some major shots to his back in that match
He
too.
did.
Right, I would really like this whole.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And he came
Yep.
out fine. So I'm like, okay, good back surgery. Good back surgery. And then at the end of the night, CM Punk returns. That was a well built, and people are very skeptical about that pay-per-view because not all the matches was great, but all the matches, all the storylines, all the matches that was there was storyline driven, where it was actually made a lot of sense. All you have to do is make matches make sense, and it just works. If the matches are good, kudos to that. But this whole pay-per-view was well built. And kudos to Paul Levesque for booking the show the way he did. Shout out to him because he had me going like this the whole show. So kudos to him. War Games is my PLE / pay-per-view of the year.
Good call. Jeff, what you got?
All right. So it's hard to argue against any of those. I mean, Survivor Series for many reasons. And look, we also got to talk about this too. I mean, yeah, CM Punk came back. That's a big deal. But you know what? R-Truth came back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so did Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Orton looked like, the Incredible Hulk walking out there for a minute because my goodness, that dude got jacked.
Yeah, he did.
But, so you got that. WrestleMania, I thought was tremendous. I will say that I felt that night 1 was a little bit better than night 2.
Yeah.
But combined, I thought they were great. I'm going to throw in a couple of little shockers here. Yeah, AJ did too, James Grant. Yeah, AJ is like,
what is it with guys leaving and then coming back and they're like ripped? It's like,
insane.
It's just crazy. And think about the age that these guys are at too. It's not like AJ Styles is 28 years old. I mean, he's in his upper 40s, and Randy, same deal. So, but I gotta throw out a couple ones that don't get the love that I feel they should. I felt like, and this isn't a major pay-per-view at all, but I feel like Impact Final Resolution was absolutely tremendous. I mean, just great matches, just great stuff. I mean, and you kind of felt like there may be a little bit of a lull since we were transitioning from Impact to TNA, but nope, it wasn't. They put on great pay-per-views every month. So, and Bound for Glory, I felt was really tremendous. So yeah, I mean, I have no arguments with WrestleMania, or if people say Survivor Series. You're not going to get any arguments from me because as a wrestling fan, we were all served very, very well when it came to wrestling in 2023 from all companies. So kudos, like Tazzy said, to every single promotion for continuing to elevate their game. And you know what? Competition seems to do that sometimes, right?
Yeah, it does.
When you have other people putting on good shows, it makes other people want to do the same thing. So keep doing that, wrestling companies.
Message.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I've been saying this a lot over like the past 2 weeks. Don't ever hope for a wrestling company to fail. Don't ever do that. it doesn't help anything, and it makes everything worse. So you don't want to go back to having one, or even two. It's always good when they're always kind of pushing each other. It's a good thing. So, all right, we've got one award left to go, and then we'll have our little quick look ahead because it's getting kind of late. One award left to go. It is best storyline of the year. Wrestling would be nothing without good storylines. So the award nominees are, we have The Fall of the Bloodline, WWE, The Rise of Judgment Day, WWE, Who is the Devil, AEW, Better Than You, Baby, the MJF Adam Cole friendship in AEW, Cody Rhodes Hard Times versus Brock Lesnar, WWE, Timeless Tony Storm, AEW, Josh Alexander's return to Impact Wrestling, Drew McIntyre's heel turn in WWE, the transformation of Crazy Steve in Impact Wrestling, Bully Ray and PCO, which Jeff mentioned in Impact Wrestling. No write-ins on this one. And here we go. So, Jeff, who is the winner for best storyline of the year?
All right, here we go.
And the winner is
Another repeat winner, another year, and here we go again. The Fall of the Bloodline wins it, pretty much going away. You guys voted 30%. The Fall of the Bloodline, followed by the Who is the Devil storyline in AEW, which of course just came to its resolution. And then in third place was the Rise of Judgment Day. So pretty interesting this is, because, you know, a lot of people have been saying that the Bloodline's gotten a little stale. That, you know, Roman's not around as much anymore, and, you know, things have kind of been quieting down a little bit, you know, and yet, but again, we did have the whole thing where Jey Uso left and gave us the whole deuces and took off, and he was gone, and then he appeared back, of course, on Raw with Cody and stuff like that. So he, you know, that whole thing is kind of continuing through all of that. And then you got the whole thing with LA Knight involved in there and everything like this. So they are kind of keeping it fresh. And you got the comment from Paul Heyman, of course, saying we're in the third inning. We're not even close to coming close to the end of this. And now with the latest development, you might kind of been starting to believe him, because if we are going to get Rock Roman, which kind of appears we are, that was something that was put on a back burner back almost close to COVID. So if they're going to go into that and do the whole family thing with The Rock being involved and Rikishi maybe getting involved, then you are pretty far away from this ending. So he could have been speaking the truth when he was talking about third inning, but it looks as if the Bloodline's not going away anytime soon. It's still up on the top. It's still relevant. It's still main events Thursday nights in most cases, Roman there or not. And now it just seems like it's just picking up some steam again with the introduction of The Rock. So the Bloodline wins. Who am I to argue? But I mean, there are just a ton of amazing storylines out there. Really good ones in all of the companies. I like the Devil story, and I'm not the biggest AEW fan. I like what they did with it. You never really knew who it was, and so many people on Twitter were talking about it. People even saying it was Britt Baker that was behind it. Just names after names after names coming up with that. So I kind of like that. Bully Ray coming out and saying he thought it was MJF himself that was doing it. They came to the resolution and it ended up being Adam Cole. And you know, maybe a lot of people may say, well, that makes sense. It should have been Adam Cole. But the way they did it was pretty cool. So there were some, wrestling is just better when there's good storylines. Some wrestlers are great with it, some not so much. But this was a good year with a lot of good storylines. So the Bloodline's still relevant. And whether you think that that's true or not, they're still relevant and they're still up there. So again, for me, the Cody Rhodes Hard Times and with Brock Lesnar, I thought was really done well. I got to give a nod to Timeless Tony Storm. Really love what she's doing there. For me though, and this goes to my love of horror stuff. The thing that Crazy Steve did, tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Oh, dear Lord.
The way he transformed himself from what he was into what he is now, and those little vignettes that he would do, those interview segments that he had, going into what he is now, just like chef's kiss, awesome. Absolutely loved it. And so there were a lot of the good ones, but that one to me, I think it comes to my head the most. And I'm really, really fascinated to see what we're going to see with Crazy Steve and Tommy Dreamer coming up next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. So, Tazzy, what you got?
Woo! 2023 with storylines, insane. Yeah, the storyline with the bloodline is not over yet, not even close.
Not
Hey,
close.
let's be real. Let's just say if Roman do lose the title at WrestleMania, the bloodline storyline still ain't over.
Not even close.
Not even close. They still got other stuff to do. I'm just saying, just throw it out there. But oh my god, the storyline with the MJF and Adam Cole, and then it intertwined with the devil thing combined with that. That was a long, I think it was about 6 months. That was a 6-month storyline, which we thought Tony Khan couldn't do it, and he did it.
He pulled that off.
He pulled it off. Kudos to him. And everything that he did made sense. The only thing that kind of sucked in the process was Adam Cole got hurt. I think that's what kind of screwed it up a little bit. But I think it's still worthy that how they fixed it. And I thought they was going to screw the whole thing up. They didn't. So that is my storyline of the year. It's shocking. You guys are going to be like, you picked a storyline from AEW. Yes, I picked the storyline from AEW because that what got me sticked on the TV. It literally got me sticked on TV along with, oh my god, Tony Storm.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Even her press conference are funny. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. Keep pushing. Like you have talent there. Let's just put it like, I think he overthinks. I think that's the only thing he does. He overthinks, and then that kind of screws up his mindset. If you just do the simple little things like what you're doing now, you're gonna have a great year. All the companies gonna have a great year because their booking is doing really good. So,
yep. Jeff, what you got?
Obviously, the bloodline storyline is one of those stories that only comes around ever so often. Like it's not like you get a bloodline storyline every year. You only get these ever so often. So I can't argue with this, but what I will say is I feel like, and I'm not gonna pick Swerve and Hangman again. I promise I won't pick it on this one. Although I did think about it. But I'm gonna shout out the Judgment Day, and what I mean is, at one point in 2023, every single member of the Judgment Day had gold, and not only that, but you also have Damian Priest, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think a lot of people forget that. They give us little teases every now and again, if he's going to cash in or not, and maybe they will at some point soon, because I mean he's got to, right? Pretty soon. So I think you got to give them some love. The fact that they've been as dominant as they have, and think about the feuds that Judgment Day has had in 2023. You've got Cody, like Jesse mentioned. They went up against KO and Sami Zayn. You've got all of the matchups that Rhea Ripley has had. You cannot forget about Old Dirty Dom. And if we had a breakout star of the year category, it would be really tough. it would be really tough to pick between him and Swerve Strickland for 2023. It would be extremely difficult because I understand that people say, "Oh, well, he just gets booed all the time." The fact that they lean into it and the fact that the crowds are that polarized for Dominic Mysterio when 3 years ago people were like, "My God, this dude has no character." Think about that. 2 years ago, people were like, "Really? You know, he's just going to be a carbon copy of his dad. He's got no personality." Going into 2024, is that what we're still thinking? I don't think so. So I got to give some love to the Judgment Day because they have been doing a great job, and you know it's interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about our truth, RK Shuttleworth. You're right. Got to throw our truth in there. But no, I think the Judgment Day had a great 2023. At several points during 2023, we all thought that they were going to break up, but they didn't. They just kept on keeping on, and you know, I think that it was a great year for them, and I'm excited to see what they do in 2024.
Yep, absolutely. Man, oh man. Just gonna read a couple comments here, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. Where do you start 2023 with storyline central? That voice is funny, Jeff. I was thinking it sounded like something from a Monty Python gag. We'll say that even though a lot of people were over it a long time ago, I never got bored of Cody's feud with Judgment Day and all the different ways they stretched that. But I think it's because I enjoy Cody a lot. Hello, Jesse, by the way. We got Chris is surprised not to see anything about the Judgment Day. I feel like their story has been consistently great. Go with the follow the bloodline followed closely by the rise of Judgment Day. However, I'll give AEW their flowers for the Devil Best Friend story as MJF and Adam Cole is an intriguing dynamic. Oh, who is the winner is voice? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about. Now I get it. Yes, it does kind of sound a little Monty Python-ish. You're right.
I think that's what from. I think
that's awesome. Well, there you go, guys. Another year, another bunch of winners, and another bunch of good shit from our awards. So, one last thing to do, and that's each one of us is going to be, and you guys in the chat can do it too, and we'll get out of here. But what are you most looking forward to, or what are your predictions for 2024? We don't have to go into this very long, but what is something you guys in the chat are really, really excited about that's coming up here in 2024 that's going to get you glued to that monitor, screen, phone, whatever the case might be, and watching wrestling? So and I'll start with Tazzy. Tazzy, 2024, you got any big predictions or something that you're really, really looking forward to in 2024?
I'm gonna hold off on the predictions at the end of what I say here. I'm looking forward to just wrestling in general. TNA has got my attention because I am looking forward to what storylines they do once they start going. Like what's going to be their big storyline that they do? It's going to be intriguing because I have a feeling who the champion is going to be by the end of the Saturday, but I ain't gonna say it till I get. WE, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Now you have CM Punk in there. You have a big storyline in there. Not just the bloodline, but the other side. You have a big storyline with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I'm being real with you guys. They probably talked it out. They're probably cool now, but they're using all the feud that they had before it was cool to actually make this feud a good feud, and I'm all for it because you just don't know what's going to happen now. Just in WWE in general. Hey, AEW, keep doing your thing. You got Deanna Purrazzo now. You have a big thing. I think she might end up being the champion within the next couple months. So that's the way they're gearing that up for it. You have somebody with a Tony Storm. You have Julia Hart. You have things a bit. I'm gonna say this. I think I said this Friday. WWE do not need Mercedes Moné. They might want her, but they don't need her. AEW needs Mercedes Moné just for that star power. Actually, two. Them and TNA need for the star power. WWE don't need them because this is one thing about WWE need what WWE do. They have talent in NXT that they're ready to bring up. They can always bring those up. They got talent off the sky right now, off a tree. They can just bring up right now.
We haven't even seen Jade Cargill in a match yet.
Exactly. So
And
it's
they're supposedly in discussions with Camille.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they just offered her a contract, an NXT contract. So, yeah, apparently my eyes are gonna be glued to the TV now. Predictions. I don't really have a WWE prediction because, quite frankly, they're all over the place. I don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable right now. However, AEW, I guarantee Swerve Strickland will be the AEW champion by the end of the 2024. That's my prediction.
There is a theme tonight of a lot of Swerve Strickland in this podcast.
Oh, but wait, there's more. So
okay, Jeff, what do you have?
let me just start there. Let me just start by saying I truly believe that Swerve Strickland will be a champion in AEW in 2024. I believe he will be the world heavyweight champion for AEW by year's end. Just because of the rise that he's had. And yeah, I mean Prince Nana, I mean, come on now. I mean, I can't help but do the dance too. I mean, I'm over here doing the dance too. So, you know, I just feel like he's got everything. And I normally don't say things like this, but WWE, you drop the ball.
Big time.
Big time with him.
Well, I think it's more Vince than anything, but yeah.
Well, yeah. So TNA, I'm gonna say that TNA makes a very large signing this year that's going to be game changing and bring more eyes to TNA. I think by the end of 2024, you might have some people on social media and the internet debating if TNA has surpassed AEW for the number 2 spot.
Ooh,
I think that's a possibility by the end of the year.
That's spicy.
I know that's
I like it. Spicy.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. But listen, I just have a feeling that it's going to be a big year for all of the companies, and that's not to put down AEW. That's not putting them down at all. That's just saying I feel like TNA will have such a huge year, and I think they'll draw eyes from people that used to watch, and I think they'll get new fans too. And I think if they make a couple of big signings through the year, it has the potential to at least make people have that conversation. Is TNA number 2 now? I think that's a possibility. For WWE, I'm gonna say this. I feel like we're gonna get a few things with WWE. I think that I know a lot of people are kind of predicting that Trinity is going to lose the title at Hard to Kill because of the conversations in the background with WWE and how she may want to possibly return. I think WWE is going to have her enter the Rumble as the Knockouts Women's Champion. I think that's how they bring her back into the fold. I think they will want to establish her as, listen, she went and she did her thing. She's one of the best in the world, and we can get her in the Rumble. Imagine that pop if she's at the Rumble. I mean, that would be a tremendous pop.
Wouldn't be unprecedented that Mickey James showed up there with a belt.
Exactly. So I think that's a strong possibility. And I'm going to say this. Whenever they decide to pull the trigger on the CM Punk Seth Rollins feud, that's going to be the feud of the year. Hell, it may even be the feud of the decade. Because I feel like that feud is going to blur the lines so very much between reality and wrestling, and we're going to be like, oh, I wonder if he was shooting there, or if he was, working a shoot.
Yep.
We're going to have those conversations, I feel, but CM Punk, Seth Rollins is going to be amazing. And last thing I'll say about WWE, and I don't want to upset anyone, but I feel like I need to share this. Maybe Cody finishing the story is different than what you think it is. Maybe he doesn't finish it against Roman. Just going to throw that out there.
I don't know if I can compete with any of those. Jeff was with some spicy. I mean, that's almost like hot jalapeno takes there. And you know what? Here's the thing. You all have been watching the show long enough to know Jeff, I call the Swami of our show. So 99% of what Jeff says comes true. So you probably want to mark all this down and revisit it about 6-7 months later down the road.
Write it down now.
Write it down, clip the segment, whatever you want to do, just save it. And then when it all happens to pass in about 7 months, then yeah. So for me, I was going to, Jeff talked about the story of Cody. My prediction is the story of Cody does not come to a conclusion this year. Does not, regardless of whether fans are going to like it or not. We are going to get Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. It is not going to be in Perth, Australia, where people can't watch it because it's a 13-hour time difference. It would make absolutely zero sense for that to happen. It is going to happen at WrestleMania. It was supposed to happen, if you guys remember, at WrestleMania in LA. It is going to happen in Philadelphia, which really makes me sad because I could have had tickets to it. But it is going to happen in LA. They are not just teasing this for no reason. This is something that they wanted to do, and it is going to happen at WrestleMania. People are going to be upset. It is not going to be the end of and here's another take from me, and I've been shouting this from any rooftop to anyone who would listen. Roman Reigns is not losing that title until he beats Hulk Hogan's record. Period. End of story. He will not beat it until September of this coming year. He is not dropping that title until after that time. So, and it may go until next year, but he is not. I'm telling you right now, after what the things that went on with Hulk Hogan through the years, they like to sometimes do things where they're going to erase something that they no longer want necessarily on the record books. So I do believe that he's this close. When it comes to WrestleMania, right, we're only going to be May, June, July, August, so 5 months away. And by Heyman saying it's the third inning, it's not over. He is not losing that title until after he beats Hogan's record. And I'm starting to really lean on something Jeff said a long time ago. And the fact that I think it may make the most sense storyline wise for that, and the bloodline and the whole mafia thing and the theme that they had going, that Solo Sikoa is the one that takes that belt off him. It just makes more and more and more sense. Build them up, and then the student surpasses the teacher, and it happens a lot in movies like that. So that's my hot take on that. TNA is going to make I 100% believe they're going to make a major impact. Let me say, on the world wrestling.
I see what you did there.
Sorry.
Okay, I see that.
They are really going to make waves, I believe, this year. I really do. And in the presentation that we're going to see, in the people who they have there, in maybe some different ways you may not think. But they're going to be a force to reckon with, I believe, this year. They really are. I think they're positioned from what they had to do that. They've signed some amazing names. They've got some amazing people in both the men and the women's division. And I really think they're going to come out strong. I think this coming pay-per-view that we are going to do the watch along for in just what? Is it 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 days. We could be talking about this pay-per-view as the best pay-per-view of the year next year. That's a take that I'm gonna have. And then as far as what I want to see, I want to see everyone thriving. I want to see the companies all doing well. I want to see less people arguing on the interwebs about wrestling, more people enjoying wrestling and having fun with it. And yeah, and I want to see more of you guys. Maybe I'm crazy for that. I don't know. But we are going to, I mean, obviously, we as a channel have our own goals and stuff that we're going to do too. There will be changes. There already have been, as you can see, Jeff with his graphics and the things that he's doing for the show. We're going to have many, many different things coming for you this year. You know, maybe some different style little shows that we might do, go back to kind of like our top 10 shows that we used to do, littler things like that, maybe a little bit smaller things coming out. We are going to have some different things going on with YouTube. YouTube is giving away some free memberships to channels, so we're going to definitely be involved with that as well. But mostly, I just want to see everybody have a good time, man. I just want to see everybody have a good time. Wrestling is entertainment, and entertainment should make everybody happy, not upset, not angry. And that's what I want to see for 2024. I want to see us all get together as wrestling fans and just enjoy whatever it is we choose to enjoy. I don't care what company it is. Whatever it is we choose to enjoy, that's what I want to see. In fact, I wanted to see that so much that I kind of want our airing of grievances show to come down in time. I want to see that to have to kind of pull back a little bit and make it a thing where we don't have to air so many grievances, if that makes any sense. Another award show down, 4 that we've done now, goes back to the very roots of this show and the very, very beginnings of this show, and we would not be here without all of you. So from myself and from Tazzy and Jeff, obviously, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for voting, because obviously it wouldn't be a very good award show if it was just 3 of us voting and we only had 3 votes. So, so thank you all for coming out to all of these streams that we have, spending your time with us during the week. Really hats off to everybody that does that. It is not easy to sit around for what we've been here for almost 3.5 hours. And especially I know with YouTube, with ads and all that kind of stuff, it is hard to do, but I'm from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here with us. Bigger and better things to come in 2024. And again, that's going to do it for us for tonight, guys. Like I said earlier, we've got, if Jody's feeling up to it, we have Abby's Window on Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This coming Thursday, we have the Hard to Kill preview we'll be here, of course, starting at 7:45, our normal time. And then that will start, of course, at 8:30. So be there for that. And then this coming Saturday, it is Hard to Kill time, folks. It is the brand new TNA. We're going to see the pyro, the entrances, everything is coming up this coming Saturday. I'm so excited. It can't go fast enough. And I'm thrilled to be here, and we're going to just have a blast doing it. So, Tazzy, what you got coming up? And then we are going to get on out of here.
Before I say this, all 3 of the shows I'm about to say starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll try to cut time. Monday we're here for Monday Night Raw. CM Punk is back tomorrow. We got a bunch of matches tomorrow. It's already been announced. I'm not gonna say all of them because it's right there. CM Punk's back tomorrow. That's all you gotta say. Tuesday, don't forget, we're here. Well, not here, but on the party for NXT. Make sure you join us for that. Friday, Big Friday, SmackDown. Make sure you join us for that. And who said I didn't? I have a beard. I'm like, did I always have a beard?
I don't remember you not having one.
Maybe during COVID. I didn't have because we were wearing masks.
Yeah,
That was funny, but that's it.
At least they didn't point out all the gray in mine now. So
Oh God, I don't even want to talk about gray, please. Mine doesn't even grow brown anymore. It's just all gray. Man, oh man, great stuff. Thank you all for voting and participating. We appreciate that as always. All right, guys, that's it for us. Hope you had a good time on the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you all on our next one. As I always say, stay safe. Please be kind to one another, and hopefully we will see you all for our next one. Have a good night, guys, and we'll talk to you all soon.